Hello, hello. Jesus, there you go. Talking to myself. What's up, Robert? Thanks for being here. Can you guys see me all right? Whoa. There we go, there we go. Working on some transitions. Hey now. How we feeling, guys? Victoria, what's up? What's up? All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. We are getting things kicked off. We have got a lot to cover today, in my opinion. I am super excited to get into it. There is a lot that we can get into today. I am just going to run a quick update on the current positioning. I've pretty much had the pre-market positions on my screen all day long, and I think for good reason. I think if you guys look at where we have been so far, we'll switch this to regular hours, get back to a 5-minute chart, probably a little bit cleaner. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. There is so much to talk about today and what we've seen and how things have traded with the dealer profile. Ren Trades, you heard? What's up? Thanks for joining, Miggy. Thank you for being here. Just give people a little time to kind of trickle in while I take care of some housekeeping. Get the intraday profile out there as well. Show you how we're sitting currently. What is the stuff on my screen, Manu? This, I'm glad you asked. Pew pew. Green bars, dealer long positions. Red bars, dealer short positions. What do they mean? Price goes slow into them. In the green, they kind of slow price down, they buffer action, and high volatility pushes you through the red bars, right? So intraday positioning, if you believe this, we are now stuck under this big bar, so we are either being kind of ground and chopped as we move down, or it's going to shove us back all the way down into this lower range. So depending on what you believe we are going to do, there is a strong potential for us to actually give up a good portion of this move higher. Or what would happen is we're going to drift back up and pin right up under this kind of 35 spot on ES. Yeah, baby. If you guys don't know, big Arsenal fan. We won the title for the first time in 22 years. Since high school for me. That's how long it's been. Crazy. So happy for us to be on the other side of this situation. Named my kid after the former manager, so really needed this one to hit the books. Otherwise, he would have a lifetime of shame and ridicule. So couldn't do that to the poor guy. So now, hopefully things work out for him. Yeah, I hope they win the Champions League too. What's up, Hellboy? Thanks for being here, man. Anyway, guys, what I have on my screen is just kind of a primer about the Greeks. I want to be able to point to this every now and again when things are slow. Sorry, Rent Trades, it is not available. But what is available are some different vendors, some service providers out there that give you the market maker positioning data, right? And on that note, I personally use VS3D. They do have a free 7-day trial if you want to get acclimated to market maker positioning and how it can be leveraged, right? That is certainly something that's available to you, but this is just a trading view indicator of me taking their data and putting it on my chart, right? So the biggest thing here, guys, that I do want to cover, forgetting that you can't actually see my chart right now, hilariously enough, let's see if I can do this in real time. we will see if we can add. Pew! Look at that. Heyo. Hopefully you guys can see that. All right. All right. We'll just leave that there. Okay. But the big thing is as you can see, if you're paying attention over here, dealer longs kind of slow price. So the idea here is that as we sell, now that we're under this strike, this is going to be our short-term ceiling, 74.35. So we are likely to grind and chop around in this range and potentially just get magnetized to this higher concentration. It's going to swallow volatility. It's going to absorb that kind of movement. So there's every reason to think that we can actually come back up to this, right? Because they're buying dips and selling rips. So the idea right now, based on the intraday positioning, is that we can just get magnetized to this, or on stronger selling, and we push down through this because everything above us is also selling. It might just not happen as quickly as it otherwise would, right? If we were getting like a huge sell-off, we would more than likely go all the way through this. Like if this were red positioning, we would fall through this so rapidly, the same way we squeezed up through this whole range this morning. So if you guys are just joining, once again, thanks for being here. We're going to kind of cover a couple things about the morning action that I think is super interesting. Number one is going to be the idea that right now we are kind of likely to get pinned against this position. So what I'm watching for in the afternoon is not necessarily a sell, even though we kind of sold from this position up here. There's kind of a reason I think that happened, but I think we'll actually just end up getting pinned up right under this kind of 74.35 on ES. But if we get some volatility, you know, obviously things can happen, but market makers react. They don't dictate behaviors. Okay, so what they're doing is their hedging can drive the market based on how many futures they are buying or selling. So right now, the idea is if we are not over 74.25, it is going to be hugely influential into the close. If we are not over 74.35, it is going to be influential into the close for two different reasons. It is going to be a resistance if we are not over it, and everything below us, as long as we stick right where we are, is kind of pointing us to a balance probably around the 74.15 area on ES. But if we do get some volatility and sell down through this range, we can obviously get stuck lower. But these red bars will accelerate us. These green bars should slow things. But unfortunately, green also will be a ceiling on the day. So as you can see on the screen here, slows price into them. And then we've got the explainers on what the main Greeks are I want to cover today and how those behaviors can influence price action. So let's look at the pre-market position and why I called for patience to take longs, and why you could have even caught a morning short on ES from the pre-market, right? Down into this region, right? On rejections higher. This was kind of our main point on the day, right? Where we opened was this little balance. I have these big ranges drawn and then a couple smaller ones inside of it. And my pre-market plan was all about what happens here at 73.95. If you're in the premium Discord at Rake Trades, you probably saw me mention this on the trading floor to somebody, that there was reason for caution. Caution because, excuse me, there was this idea that on a sell, the best place for a long for me on the day is where things got progressively longer down here. And if you guys look at this little bar, as far as things, as far as gamma, positive gamma, they dampen moves, they buy dips. It's all about stability. Where does that range get strongest? Pretty much from 73.70 all the way down. You can see that gradient gets way more green as we went down from the pre-market positioning. So if we were into this range, I would be looking for long attempts at the bottom of it as we moved into this, right? So this is where I would advocate the best risk to reward for longs on the day is going to come right here. And what happened as we dipped into the bottom of that range, this little range on the morning? And we got some bidding. You got a squeeze move through all of this kind of thin to largely negative positioning, right? What do market makers do based on these red bars? squeezes, right? And we caught that squeeze move all the way up to the top of this next range, right? And once we were here, what did we do? We kind of rejected, right? We rejected. We had to push through it because there was all of these dealer longs selling rips. What does it say? Dampens moves, buy dips and sell rallies, okay? So once we got into this concentration, is it no surprise that it took us a while to kind of break higher? And what's interesting about this and why I want to bring so much attention to it is everybody knows we caught a headline at that time, right? Why did that headline wick right here where things get long above us, right? Twofold. We squeezed through this big concentration, which is wild because that was actually bigger than 74.15 on SPX or 74.35, right? But why did we harshly reject that? How many points was that? The entirety of that move basically came all the way back down on a harsh rejection within 2 candles, even in that 1 candle, right? The tail end of that move. That's the idea of Vega. So dealers, because they were negative when this falls, they are short calls and puts right here. They are net short. But then you have your Vanna, right? Vanna was, dealers here, when volatility exploded in that moment, they're positive Vega, but they are also negative Vanna. So like there's this dynamic of where you actually needed less volatility for that kind of a squeeze move to continue. So it's no surprise that once that rejected, we stuck under and could not break back over that strike a second time, right? Because that rapid volatility expansion, you've got kind of competing dynamics at play in that moment. So it was really, really interesting as we moved into a kind of the Vanna flip area where Vanna gets negative. If you read this here, it means there's a volatility reaction that is adverse. So normally you would want that squeeze and you'd think that squeeze would actually continue, but it rejected immediately. You actually kind of would have been better off had you had less of a strong bid in that moment. So if you didn't kind of get your exit up here, you got probably crushed on the volatility on your calls immediately in that moment. Sorry, excuse me. So there's a lot to unpack about this kind of a profile in the day. And that's also why I advised caution to say, like, I don't think that even though this looks like we should squeeze through it on second attempts, there are other things happening with regards to volatility that make me think that this is actually a good spot to play a rejection. Because you're either just going to pin around between 45 and 35 all afternoon, or you have the potential, if you get stuck back under 35, to actually come back down and find a balance lower. But again, I don't necessarily believe that. I think, again, looking at the intraday positioning now, we know that this will absorb that selling pressure that we just got, and we should come back up. Now it's all about, can we hold over 74.35 to get that potential end of day rally up towards 74.60 on ES. But this was all from the pre-market plan. You guys saw I had these ranges drawn from the pre-market positioning. Now we're at the intraday positioning. Has it really fundamentally shifted? Is the key structure still in place? Right? Yes. So the expectation here is, because of the magnetism of this long positioning, whether it's this one or we actually kind of make the move higher, it's all based on those dynamics, right? What do we know about these dynamics? We're likeliest to pin this big strike. So right now, the idea of us chopping in a range around it is something that I think is highly likely. Can you guys actually see this little icon now a little bit better? I realized I was zipping around the screen quite a bit there, so I'm not sure if you actually could see my pointer. Daniel, do not get worried about calls and puts, brother. Don't care about calls and puts. Are they net long or are they net short? Who gives a shit which one it is? The more you get like mired down in the is it calls, is it puts, the worse you're going to do with this information. Are they net long overall or are they net short? Who fucking cares if it's calls or puts? Like, I cannot stress that enough. You can know it, you can get into that dynamic, but if you want it to be simple, just understand, are they net long or net short, and what are they going to do? What is the expected reaction or behavior? Okay? But yes, the more of something there is, the stronger that reaction, the stronger that hedge response, whether it's in total positions or in stacked strikes, right? But the same reason why this morning I had these little ranges and said, you know, this is the bigger range I'm worried about. The little ranges are kind of maybe where you can really dial it in, is because they were overall thin compared to some of the biggest positions on the board. So I'm not trying to pick on you, Daniel, but I see so many people asking about, well, what if they're calls? Who cares? Like, we just know that they are net long or short. They could be holding tons of calls or puts, right? Like, but it really doesn't matter. It's all about their delta exposure and how they're hedging that delta. That is the single most important thing we care about, because that drives the reaction. That drives the responses. What's up, Armani? Thanks for being here. See, we got a few more people joining. Guys, if you are here, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, the deeper you try to understand it, the more you try to get into the weeds, Daniel, the worse it's going to go for you. I put this primer up here just to give people, instead of like asking me constantly, what do the bars mean? And like, this is just something you can read if I'm not talking about it in that moment. But the long and short of it is, red is acceleration, momentum. Green is slow it down, right? So you could play this two different ways. You could say, this is all resistance until it's not. I think we're going to move through this overhead resistance here at 35, and I think we are going to fly up to 74.60. Or you could say, this is all a lot of resistance with not much time left in the day. I think we're going to pin a little bit lower at a stronger balance, right? Because of the enormity of this, they are selling rips. So every time we try to move higher, this is actively selling against me. The strongest balance on the day, because I'm stuck in this big glob of green from the pre-market profile, is either going to be kind of this 74.15, where these two things kind of reach a balance, or I think it's going to be even higher. But the base expectation is we're probably just going to be grinding around this into the close, absent some other catalyst, whether that's big buying flow to push us up and through, or just kind of a steady sell until we get to this spot, right? But from the pre-market, the plan for me was always, I want to see tests lower. If we hold into this strongest positioning down below, I have really, really clearly defined risk to reward. I know that I am buying because behind me, market makers are buying below me, right? This is the best risk to reward. I know that if we dip too much lower, they should be buying futures, which should support the move higher. And what do you know? That was the best long on the day by far. You could have captured 50 plus points, right? Anyway, I actually had call spreads this morning. So I had a 74.05 to 15, I think it was, call spread. I have to go back and look. But I actually took spreads and I was long ES. So kind of double dipped on that one today. But yeah, the 5 to 15 spreads were super cheap because I entered them when we were down here. And I caught the initial expansion, and then I caught the majority of that position because we were so deep in the money on both strikes. So hard to argue with the call spreads on SPX today. If you went naked at any point down here from 7,400 up, I mean, anywhere in between, you made good money. Even if you took SPY or something as a proxy, there's a lot of ways to trade this. Even if you traded NQ off of the idea that, hey, ES is moving into this supportive range, I'm going to take a stab long on NQ. You banked on NQ, right? Like NQ went ham from basically the same idea. If ES was holding or SPX was holding that support, I'm going to go long NQ. And you made money the same way as you did off ES, the way those things were correlated. So again, guys, multiple ways to skin the cat, right? But the main thing is this was like an incredibly powerful day for the profile and the Greek dynamics of knowing like where squeezes can happen and where they can send you, where these ranges are, right? If you go look at my Instagram, if you guys were in the Discord, you saw it first with regards to this pre-market plan and the ranges on the day. I was not thinking we would ever get down here. I didn't think we would put too much in danger down here even. I thought as we approached this kind of area here on 75.70, that's where I would be looking to go long. If we reclaimed this 73.95, this was kind of like the biggest balance spot of these ranges on the day. We're either above it or below it. Reclaiming that, if you wanted to wait for a reclaim that happened to line up with the opening print, right? You had a really great risk to reward to get to the top of this range at 74.35. That's a decent amount of points. That's 40 points. So even if you didn't catch the absolute bottom, you still caught a 40-point move. Cannot complain about that. Being able to have a really clear target and risk to reward is like the single best part of this whole thing for me. And having those if-then plans. Daniel, brother, do the study, but like don't get hung up on it. If it's one and then one, then it's not as powerful of a read. What you should be focused on are these little zones. Where are the ranges? If it's like onesie twosie, who gives a shit? What does the broader structure look like? Right? So again, keep it simple, man. As with everything, the more simple you make it, the better it is. Pre-market profile. Big ranges, small ranges within them. Where am I expecting resistance to start overhead? From here to here. I'm going to need this to clear at 74.20 to be able to accelerate into this big resistance at 74.35, right? This is all very thin, but I have little pockets where things are dominated red as opposed to green. There's only like one big green amongst all of this red. So why did I say I would be most comfortable longing either from the strongest supportive area below, because in total it is all green. From here on down it is predominantly green in size. That is support. Okay. If we reclaim this, then I am even more bullish on the potential to get to the top of the range because it is thin and red. And if I reclaim this, and this is my temporary support, it's the only thing I have in range aside from the very bottom of it. I'm happy to target the top of this range or the very top of the range. Right? I don't know how much more simple it can get. But worrying about like, oh, this one's red, then this one's green, 1, 1, 1. Look at it in total. What does this structure look like? If you're looking at it from a price action standpoint, where do I think I would want to look for a potential higher low? I would want it to be here. If I was looking at like a 2-minute chart and I went to the morning and I said, as we approach this right here would have been a decent long stab, right? Are we holding this strike? If you took that buy and it failed, that's fine. But your risk was tight. It's 5 points or less. But even down here, as we move into this zone, what am I looking for? I'm looking for this to hold. I can take a 5 to 10 point stop from right here because I think everything below here is so supportive. Then you made money. Even here, you got a retest and hold of this kind of range. Target the top of it. Even that was a 20-point move, right? But if you're looking at broader things like broader regimes, negative gamma regimes, April was after the sell started. It turned negative. It wasn't negative from the jump. I don't want to do too much with regards to April because looking back that far was like a one-off, right? Nobody was ready for that move. Then it turned into everybody was chasing shorts because of Liberation Day. It wasn't negative gamma dominated in advance. People were not positioned for that kind of volatility. But looking at what's in front of your face, draw a plan. My plan for the day, if then. If we hold 95, then I'm looking for top of the range. My base case on the day, if you saw my Instagram, if you're in the Discord, was I think we either drift up to test this spread position, or we've ranged to test the lows, or we just chop around. So if we're holding this, then I'm looking for the top of the range just to drift. If we get down here, I'm looking for longs back to the top of the range. Or we just start ranging around and chopping violently, but it was really hard to not see this going higher. And my like outside chance was to actually ramp through this upper range. It happened on a little squeeze pop, but you also know that it was likely any rejection here would be harsh, because look at this whole range. If you're not holding up here, that's all accelerant. So why do you think we have a big wick that came down all the way to the start of that candle? Because of what we know about those red positions, right? What does it do? Momentum and volatility expands, right? We came up here on a big squeeze through this whole range. We hit resistance. IV changes, volatility changes. Rejection means selling. Selling through what? Red bars means it accelerates the selling. This was a big ass red bar. The second we got back through that, that compelled you right back down. The difference was it sold us back into a support. That's the only reason we didn't sell all the way back off, right? Because this little range absorbed that volatility. And then we kind of tested it again, and now we sold. But that's just the pre-market positioning. If we do this, then I'm expecting this. Unless I see this, then I expect this. Anyway, that's kind of the recap from the morning squeeze. So pretty happy with my execution on that one, especially after failing out of the Grand Cup yesterday on the back of a hanging fucking Tradeovate order that I didn't see on my phone when I closed my Tradeovate app. So can't win them all. Anyway, guys, I see we've had some more people join. If you're here, thank you for being here. I know it's kind of a slow time of day. It's the lunch hour. Most of you probably felt like you missed the best move of the day, and you did. But got a little explainer as to kind of why it was so violent, how those things happen. If you guys want to know why you get these big, crazy 40-point candles, right? More often than not, it's a result of the positioning, things that assist those moves. You get those squeeze moves, right? Why do you get those squeeze moves? Well, market makers are holding billions of dollars in options that they have to hedge. And how they hedge those can lead to kind of crazy outcomes, right? And I think it's safe to say that we saw one of those today. So now, what are we going to do? Yes, I am, Nico. I am wearing an Arsenal kit because we are Premier League champions, baby. Been a long time coming. I have suffered for 20-something years since the last one, and kind of wild. But I am over the moon. Now we got to do it in the Champions League. So let's fucking go. Let's go. Do it for the guy. Please, God, win us the Champions League. Anyway, guys, yeah, my expectation from here is absent some kind of like super strong bid, we're just going to get sold down. It's really hard to see any other outcome, just given how things are kind of shaping up at the moment. You know, there is possibility, right? There is potential. But right now, everything tells me we're probably just going to get stuck right around here. Unless we get some kind of crazy squeeze move higher. But I think there's a lot kind of stopping that from happening. But it looks like there's going to be some Iran headlines ahead of this NVIDIA earnings that might give us a little volatility. So we'll see what happens. But I am not putting any more risk on the day. I feel like I made the best moves that I could from this morning. And now I'm just kind of going to sit on my hands and let things happen. What was the slipstream we caught from the bearish rejection this morning? Slipstream we caught from the bearish rejection. Are you talking just right here? Cup of Joe? I'll wait for your answer. Or are you talking about this one up here at the very top? Yeah, okay, so that squeeze move, when you have all these negative positions, this is the intraday positioning. We've kind of already gone over this just a little bit, but we can cover it again. The big thing was we had a lot of these negative positions. Here, we'll just do this. We'll do a little cheapy. Just give me a second here, guys. One moment. Bear with me here. Basically what happened is, Cup of Joe, we had a bunch of these negative positions. We caught a bid. We caught some volatility. We had a vol spike, but like with actual like call buying, right? Caught a bid. Momentum means that the volatility expands. Market makers have to buy. They react, and they react quickly. So the more volatile it is, and the more of that you kind of have stacked in a row, the more you fly through those ranges. So, you know, if we're looking at a 5 minute, you had basically like 2 bars did the majority of the work. And then we had another one here. But the reason why this one rejected and came back so harshly was kind of because there's something called Vanna. It's like a longer, which you have your explainer here with regards to volatility changes. And then this is about Vega is the actual IV, not just volatility, but the implied volatility of options. So based on how they were positioned up here in total, right? All of these these short calls and how that IV reacts, and then you have Vanna reacting as well. The expectation is that if you had too much rapid volatility expansion on a big squeeze, you were actually going to reject and potentially reject harshly. The difference is we at least had this long positioning that kind of dampened that move a little bit. So the same reason why we got this selling, but we didn't actually sell all the way through, is because we have so much dealer longs absorbing that selling pressure. So they are absorbing it to the downside. They're absorbing the buying pressure and selling against it now with this big position. So it's really easy to kind of see why we are likely to just get pinned up against this against this strike here at 30.35, or just continue to grind and just drift and settle down around 74.15, which is kind of my base case, honestly, is I don't think we like really have juice to move any higher. So we'll just have to see kind of how that shakes out. But I tend to think we aren't really going any higher, personally. But I could be proven wrong, you know? I just think it's going to be a grindy, shitty chop fest into the afternoon. So that is me. Spread you got this morning, did I buy a call spread? Yep, I'm always debit. I am never selling options. I refuse. I mean, I'll sell it in the sense that like I'll take a fly or something, or it's like inherently what makes a spread a spread. You're buying one, you're selling the other to make it cheap, right? And de-risk a little bit. But I'd never sell spreads or sell options. I just take the debit side. It's just easier for me. Felt abrupt, and it was the second I walked away from my computer, so level move in terms of being between heavy buyers and heavy sellers. In a way, these are all just bets, right? All these are, when market makers are net positionally some way, holding long or short, there's customers on the other side placing a specific type of bet. The market makers are kind of like fulfilling those bets, right? They're actually kind of like making it happen for the customer side, right? If someone is selling, let's say they're selling calls here at 74.35, the market maker is long that position, but what are they doing as price moves into those strikes? They're selling futures against it, right? So if I'm selling a call there and I'm the customer, the market maker is kind of helping me in that position, because just by virtue of them holding it, they are having to sell futures. And then that shifts. If that is like a sold put, for example, and price moves beyond it and we're up here, market makers are actually hedging that differently. If they come down into that strike, they are buying it based on how they're holding that position. But that's why I don't get caught up in the calls versus puts side of it. It's literally just, what is the behavior? They are selling rips, they are buying dips if there's green. If there's a bunch of red, it's all about momentum. Whichever side is strongest, market makers are going to help that move. So if there is strong buying pressure through here, we fly through those ranges, because every strike you move through, market makers are buying tons of futures. The more of them in a row, the more futures they are buying. The more ground you're going to cover, right? The more they will accelerate you through the range. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Anyone in the chat trades silver? What direction do you think we're going? I can't speak to that. I don't trade silver and I don't look at it. What's up, Kakarov? Thanks for joining. Guys, if you're here, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you pay attention today too. After this stream, after Christian and I's afternoon stream, Jake is doing a really cool live podcast on the YouTube with Zach Austin Trades, who has cashed out to the tune of 6 figures or more this year through props alone. So kind of a unique opportunity to see a live podcast on YouTube from two great traders. So make sure you pay attention to that. I know Jake kind of hinted he will be doing quite a few prop firm giveaway accounts today. So if you are available, I would certainly tune into that one. I think you would be able to take great advantage of the knowledge bombs that are going to get dropped on you, as well as the potential to win a giveaway. So if that is interesting to you, make sure you stay tuned this afternoon after Christian's stream for that live podcast. I don't usually trade gold, but any analysis there? I mean, we can look at it. Where's GC? You know, I know a lot of people are bearish on gold. I tend to think I am going to be stabbing longs the closer we get to 4,000, 4,400. I've been wanting to kind of go long on some gold options. I don't think that story is over yet. But yeah, from a 5-minute chart, looking at the levels, consolidating under resistance, hard not to think that you might get a little breakout. Obviously, we had a really strong move off the lows. Markets are moving up. But I don't trade it enough to really be able to tell you definitively what I think about it beyond that. I think it's easy to see a rebound in precious metals with inflationary prints happening all over and yields rising from a macro perspective. But hard not to see that one wanting to potentially break back out. But yes, and subsequently SPX, I think if we aren't going to pin here, we are very likely to get stuck down here by about another 15 points or so. That is just me. All right, Daniel, let's see what you got this time. Gamma models that presume market makers are mostly short puts and long causes. Yeah, because it's naive gex. What you see in front of you here is telling you exactly how they are positioned, right? If you are looking at it from a naive perspective, you just assume that there's only one way market makers are trading and holding positions across the entire SPX options complex. Do you think that's a very smart thing? Or do you think it's in the name? Naive, right? If you have access to the more granular positioning, you can make more granular decisions. You can define your risk better if you are trading off that information. If you just think that they're only short calls and long puts or whatever, or short puts and long calls, then, you know, you're going to get what you pay for there. That's why there are different degrees of services. You can either pay for naive gex and essentially say, I'm good with this, or you can pay a little bit more and have far better information at your fingertips, right? But it's up to you and how you want to trade it. Do you want to trade in a general sense or with a more granular approach? I choose to trade the more granular approach, and it works for me. Do I have a video on how I made my strat? I don't have a video. I have these live streams every day. I have an Instagram detailing my pre-market plans and end-of-day reviews. I have a Discord channel where I kind of go over my rationale a little more in depth. But if you want like more of a hands-on kind of step-by-step, here's how to do it my way, beyond what I'm covering here, you can certainly follow me on Instagram. And there is a link to a WAP there where I have worked with people hands-on. I am starting to do more one-on-one mentoring to kind of show people here's how to layer this into your existing system in Confluence. If that is a step too far for you, then we also, like I said, just have this YouTube. You can pick up those nuggets every day as we kind of discuss the day's action and learn at your own pace that way. So it's really entirely up to you how you choose to engage with what I'm putting out there, right? Okay, so this is a link to the Discord. This is the Rake Trades Premium Discord, and I'm just putting this in here because somebody asked. But if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you know where to find me. You can find me on Instagram and DM me there. You can join us in the Discord. You'll see my pre-market plans. You'll see my trade ideology, like the call spread that I signaled this morning. Gordito, if you're in here, Gordito from the Discord, who's been on a heater with SPX and just cashed out 35K on profits over the last couple weeks. Has started to leverage a lot of this dealer positioning into his trade rationale, I believe. I think he was trading SPY today. He was looking for longs early. I said, I'm looking for longs lower. There he is. He ended up taking him a little earlier than I did. I took him from the lows, but our whole thing to me was the opening print kind of correlated around the 73.95, which was the only balance between here and the lower range. I was looking for longs down in this area. I said to him, I'd be more comfortable, waiting for a reclaim of this strike and then taking a long, right? However you did it, longs worked out today, but there is that framework. So he can attest to kind of what we cover in the Discord on occasion with this stuff. So, I can't do the R thing. I'm super white. My wife is Mexican though, so I try. She always cracks me up when she says torta because it's like the tortilla, torta, whatever. I can't do it, so I'm not going to bother. Here we go. Here's a little volatility for you. But you'll see we had also an initial rejection because the market maker reaction was having to sell futures as volatility expands. Love seeing this stuff in real time. Love seeing this stuff in real time. It is hard not to be excited about market maker dynamics when you wonder why wicks happen and things happen at specific strikes. Look no further. We just got a nice one. Sell rips, buy dips. But we are stuck in here until we're not. So if they can't break this beyond and get up beyond 45 on ES, we are probably just going to keep getting pinned in here. All of these things have these behaviors, right? So place your bets based on what you know is going to happen. You either think we're going to break out and we're going to be able to kind of ramp through this next phase, or you think we're just going to get stuck and play the rejections and play some mean reversion stuff here. If it's not 10 or 30 year, I don't really care, Daniel. Those are the heavy hitters. But yields aren't really being factored into this market. Every bit of positive news in any capacity is kind of running rampant. All the risk factors from a macro perspective are not being factored into the market. So it's all about growth, earnings, and outpacing inflation and certain things becoming disinflationary. So I just don't think we're pricing in the energy crisis and what the bond market is signaling, but that's just me. Anyway, guys, thank you for being here. I know my time is about up, and we're going to have Christian here in about 15 minutes. So if you guys have some other questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, we are just going to kind of hang tight, watch this likely chop fest occur if we don't get a stronger breakout. But we'll see what we get. What's the paid for GEX service I would recommend? Ren, I like VS3D. It is $300 a month. It is not for everybody from a cost perspective, especially if you're new, but they do offer 7-day free trials. There is options depth, which is slightly more affordable. There is spot gamma. There is gamma edge. There is Skylit AI. There are a few other services. Quant data is more of the naive GEX approach. Unusual Whales has started doing it through what I believe is an add-on called Periscope. There are all manners of services that you can leverage. What you choose to pick is up to you and your budget. They all perform slightly differently, but largely the same, and giving you this kind of view with regards to the individual positioning approach. But yeah, I think that's a decision you would have to make. But VS3D is awesome, as Belen can attest to. Belen is also someone that I have worked with individually. So if you guys are looking for someone who has worked with me in a one-on-one fashion, there's someone you can talk to. She may be able to attest, but I think she has started leveraging this as well through VS3D and other services. I think Options Depth she may have tried, but she has used it to great effect. So we worked on how she could layer this in to her trading approach and has leveraged that to great success. So congrats to Belen. She is a killer. But thank you for being here, Belen. Good to see you. All right, guys, any questions? Otherwise, again, I'm going to throw this out as a reminder. Jake is going to be doing a live podcast session this afternoon with Zach Austin after us. Appreciate you, Belen. Thanks for saying so. But yeah, guys, that is something I would definitely pay attention to. If you've been following Project 365, if you're new to it, if you're new to me, if you're new to Jake or anything, Rake Trades Network, I appreciate you, Belen, for saying so. But yeah, if you guys are new to Project 365, I really do encourage you to take everything available to you here to heart. I think whether it's around risk management, managing your emotions, how we're executing trades, what my plan looks like, what my thesis is, what I leverage, my system, right? That is something that I think is hugely, hugely beneficial. If you're an ICT person, Christian can go over those concepts with you this afternoon after me. If you are looking for how to hold for bigger, more level-to-level moves, the things that Jake and I do and how we hold our trades might be more up your alley. If you are looking for consistency and maybe 1 to 1.5 to 2 hour kind of trades in the overnight session, Alan is going to be your guy during the pre-London stream. Take advantage of what's here for free, right? While I may do one-on-one sessions and Alan does some mentoring and Jake has a mastermind course in the Discord you can learn from, we're not going to be actively pushing that stuff on you guys. If you want to know where to find us for that, I've gotten a lot of DMs on Instagram lately. Why all of a sudden, I don't know. But I'm going to tell you how to find me if you want that, right? Like Belen, doing those one-on-ones. It's there for you. But the Project 365 focus is the free availability every day at the same time. If you want to pick things up on your own for free, this is where you should take advantage of that and find it. If you want to pursue these other avenues, we have them for you. But the best way to support the channel, number one, is to hit that thumbs up button if you can, and to subscribe and to just tune in. And the other way is to, leverage some of the deals Jake's been able to secure with some of these prop firms, right? You've got Alpha Futures 50% off right now with code RAKE or RT. You've got Take Profit Trader just did like a very rare 50% off. You've got Tradeify. You've got Funded Futures Family, I believe. There are so many different ways to support the channel if you're choosing to learn and explore prop trading by using those partners and code RT or RAKE. We would really appreciate it. Like I said, if you're here, we appreciate you just watching, but those are the ways that you can help support the channel. All right, good to see you there, Gandhi. Thanks for following. No problem, guys. Yeah, repping the Arsenal jersey. Got to do it. Been my squad from day one. Been through some very dark times with this team, so to see them come out the other side and win that title, oh man, it was nervy, but thank God we got there. Sandwangsta. What brother? I guess I don't know what that question is. Project 365 merch with all of our usernames. Talk to Jake on that one. I'm sure we could do some hats or something, but who knows? Jake would probably be the guy. We'll see. We'll see. Someday. Oh, what's up, brother? It's like, what, brother? I don't have a brother, but appreciate it. Yeah, guys, thanks for being here once again. I know we got about 10 minutes left here before Lomeli kicks off, but yeah, jerseys would be sick. Only if they're Arsenal kits, though. I could just get the Arsenal kit with Gamma across the back. That'd be pretty baller. But But yeah, guys, I don't know if you have any feedback. Does this visual help you at all? Does that clear anything up as far as like what this covers here? I pretty much just literally took like my note that I did on voice and said, take this voice note and put it into a visual. So this is not like my personal best work. It probably needs a little revision, but this kind of correlates kind of some of the main Greeks that I would reference. So if that does help you guys, you know, this is something I will leave on to just kind of remind you. Dealer longs, slow price down, whether above or below. Volatility and momentum is what happens when we get through the red bars on the chart. And then what those correlate with, you've got gamma, you've got charm, which is kind of the passive idea of how things are moving, and then you've got Vanna and Vega, which are related to volatility, and then specifically IV. These are a little bit more advanced concepts that you don't have to actively think about. It's just more how it relates. That's why there's first, second, third order Greeks, right? But as far as what you see on the chart when we're talking to it here, I think just paying attention to the dealer long, dealer short. What am I expecting when we're in those areas? You know, we're in this long. This is where things are likely to pin between these two ranges. That's why I said we're either pinning here or we're potentially pinning lower, or we get some kind of a late breakout higher. But as the clock's ticking, as time goes on in the afternoon, you're more likely to see, you know, selling from above to kind of pin us into this 15 spot on SPX, this kind of 35 strike. So you could also just get like absolutely chopped to death, death by 1,000 paper cuts kind of thing around this either side. As the day goes on. But my expectation is yeah, we're going to go straight sideways, and maybe if you get a bid, you could maybe get this squeeze move higher, but all else, you know, we've got NVIDIA earnings after the bell, right? You've got some catalyst after the bell. Do you really think we're going to get that big move ahead of then? Or do you think we're just going to go sideways, right? So you can place your bets either side. Like I said, I'm hands off for a reason, right? Like I am not taking any more trades because of what I'm expecting here. Because if I kept going long, what is my stop? Do I really want to have like a 30-point stop or a 20-point stop? Because technically we've already gone 10 points. You could have just scalped that, but it's kind of like mean reversion at this point. With this big strike, you're just kind of chopping around either side of it, and you're hoping for a breakout higher. So depending on your entry, you know, you could have easily said, well, this is the biggest long position that's not this one. I'm going to long from here, looking for this and maybe a breakout. Those are trades you can take off of this. Galumbos, when I trade following my indicator, do I always trade before the live stream? I mean, yeah, I am taking trades all morning long. My stream time is in the middle of the day, which is not always conducive to great trades because most of the moves have happened, right? What's up, AXP? Yeah, thanks, Gator. But that is it. I mean, if there's a trade available, I'll take it. But today, when you catch this kind of a move on a long, why would I be looking to re-enter anything? I'm not going to suddenly flip short because I just said why I don't think short is the smart play. I think knowing what we know on these positions, we are likely to just pin here and range around it into the close. Maybe you get a close move. Maybe you get one at the absolute death, right? Those last 10 minutes, anything can happen with big flow. But what about the positions tell you how you might want to position yourself for that, right? I think as long as we are in here, we have a 20-point range where we can just get chopped to death. But I think the risk on this position is if you are under 35 on ES for too long into the afternoon, you are probably going to try to come back and find a balance lower, right? And from the pre-market positioning, if I didn't have anything but what I had in the pre-market to look at, it's like the morning profile just got jacked to the tits in the afternoon, right? But I think it tells you if you're not here, if you guys are new here, we're going to do this one more time. If you're not over this, you're finding balance here. If you're not over this strike, you are finding balance lower, right? So if I'm going off of just the pre-market positioning, There's kind of a tenuous small balance here with the passage of time, right? And if we look at the intraday positioning, how much is that reinforced? Oh, well, my God. If we're not over this biggest region, we are likely to pin just under it or find a balance lower. And if you're not under this strike, you are finding that balance there, right? Where do those things want to meet? If you are under this strike, there's this small one at 95, or, right? What would have to happen to change your mind there? So there's the combination of time, which is, what do we know? Charm. There's a combination of volatility, and then there's gamma, the influence relative to spot. So anyway, guys, I don't want to ramble too much. We got just a couple minutes left, but hopefully that explains to you how I'm looking at this stuff. Yeah, Golumbos, that's not going to happen, brother. That is Jake's time. Jake is the the star of the show. He's got like thousands of people watching. I've got 75 people watching me. You know what I mean? So the demand for Jake is the morning. Nobody's asking to see me trade. But we'll take it on board. I just don't know that you're going to necessarily ever see that. So that's why, if you want to see that information, that's why I said there's the premium Discord. You can follow along with me there. If you're looking for my trades on this strategy in particular, that's going to be the only way for you to find it. But otherwise, you'll just have to catch me here and we'll do the recaps and stuff. My pre-market plans are out there. They get added to Instagram a little bit late. So if you want to see those and you're not in the Discord and you don't want to join, you don't have to. You'll just see it a little bit later, but those are shared there. But yeah, like my active entries and exits and stuff are not something that you're going to see unless you're, following along in those places. All right. But this isn't really meant to be a trade copy kind of a YouTube. This is meant to be more of an educational thing, right? Yes, it is, Sebrian. Love your take on the market, adds layers. Yeah, this is kind of like what's happening, right? If there's this idea of liquidity in the market, who's providing liquidity? Market makers. Market makers have billions of dollars of exposure that they have to hedge, and they hedge it with futures. So when you've heard the term tail wags the dog, if there's billions and billions of dollars being traded on SPX to make it the most liquid option in the world, then you have to expect that there's going to be ES futures being traded as well, right? In size. And if we have insight into where they are positioned and how, we can have expectations for how they have to react, right? Now that spot is above this strike, I would expect if we move into this one, they are selling against us, but if we move into 74.45 on ES, we can force a reaction with strong bidding to squeeze it up towards 60, right? But just like those arrows, if we're over this, we pin higher. If we are under it, we pin at a balance. If we are under that balance, we pin to the next one. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But I am going to jet. We've got Christian coming up now. But once again, make sure you stay tuned for Jake and Zach Austin live stream on the YouTube this afternoon, where they will be doing some giveaways and dropping some serious knowledge. All right. That's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Once again, my name is Mitch. Up the gun. Fuck yes, Arsenal. Suck one city. Champions of England, baby. Let's get it. Champions League next. All right. Thanks for being here, guys. Love you. Bye.
I was muted, chat. Sorry. We're live, baby. What up? What up? What is up, chat? Man, we essentially got our objective that we were talking about in PM session yesterday. We didn't get it. We didn't get it yesterday PM, but we did get it today on ES, which was the premium of the range, which I spoke about yesterday, which was that bearish gap here on ES. I caught a trade off the morning, targeting that draw. I got out once ES took out these highs. I did take it on NQ, however. But chat, how we doing, chat? How are we doing? Letting people trickle in here before we get started. Yeah, I start earlier now. So what's it called? I guess 30 minutes before. Not crazy. But yeah, just trying to do back-to-back after Mitch and a little tighter. But yeah, running from 1:30 to 3:30 Eastern now. For the time being until further notice. How you doing, right guy, though? You catch anything? Chelsea. I'm assuming you guys were talking about Chelsea. Miggy, what up? Lomeli, my guy, what's good? Roll up stream. I thought you were a DJ. Just need headphones. AXP, you catch anything this morning? ILJ, my guy. Outstanding. Nah, no DJ here. Just on a playlist that I got sent to, and I'm vibing. I was watching it back yesterday, and I like the volume. I like it all, man. Missed the move this morning, but caught some decent moves in Asia session. Fire, fuck yeah. Yeah, I managed to catch the move this morning. So far, since I got back from vacation, I've taken literally one trade every single AM session and been green every day, which is nice. Lomeli, hi Lomeli. Cole, my guy. Yeah, long day. I think I'm done for the day until Nvidia. I sold too early. Bro, tell me about it. Same. I sold way too early. I had conviction on the NQ on that 419 draw, but yeah, I sold way too early. Yeah, I sold as soon as that 7 a.m. candle closed. But going into session, I'm leaning more towards the downside short term, although I'm still bullish on the higher time frames. Still, I'm leaning a little more bearish, just given structure, right? If we look at NQ here and ES, again, we tapped into that weekly fair value gap, right? After that, you take the swing high to swing low to look at premium discount. We have this bearish gap up above us that NQ didn't hold or didn't tag, but ES indeed tagged it this morning, right? So now what that tells me is that NQ is slightly weaker and price will turn back around, or not has to, right? I'm anticipating price to turn back around and trade into either equilibrium, which is that red line, or some sort of PD array. And by PD array, I mean like a fair value gap, which we are already holding. So it's a tricky session because I'm bullish on the higher time frames, but on the shorter time frames, we hit my objective short term. Now I'm kind of waiting to see what price does. What I'm noticing on NQ is that we did get a change in state, which is basically just a market structure shift. Once this 15-minute bar at 9:15 closed below that bar, we retrace back into what? Take premium discount again. Into premium of the range, we have a bearish fair value gap here. So this would be counter trend on the higher time frames, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm paying attention to. So right now, I'm not really interested in anything. We are delivering from a bullish fair value gap on the hourly, but that's after ES already took out the objective, which was that daily bearish fair value gap. Oh, thank you. Appreciate you. Just got hooked up with a coffee, chat. But yeah, so it's a tricky session, tricky morning or afternoon. So right now, literally just remaining patient. Like I said, higher timeframes, I am more bullish into that draw, which is that 419 that we spoke about yesterday, for the same reasons, being that it's a daily bearish gap in premium of the range after delivering from a bullish gap on the weekly. So I'm just aligning multi-time frame analysis to get to a area of interest, right? So yesterday, as we were speaking in PM, after this 4-hour close, we were saying, or I was saying that price's objective is now premium of the range, which is that swing high. Unfortunately, we didn't get it yesterday, but again, we seem to be getting it today after we delivered into that small little bullish gap on the 4-hour, and the hourly, we also had a gap, which was also London lows, which Yeah, I think that's it. So after that area, we got a good reaction in the morning, which gave me a good entry, and took it out here because ES took out important highs, which was prior, or no, I didn't even, it was these highs here. So yeah, going into the session, honestly, with the little mixed bias here, I more than anything will remain cash unless we invert this gap and then we want to trade lower. But even then, higher timeframes are saying higher. So at this current point, I'm just sitting on sidelines for that same exact reason. And we do have FOMC minutes, which we probably won't see much of a reaction. But yeah, let's see what we get, chat. Let's see. Blasted last week's closing price target and then flew right through it. Didn't hold any runners. Yeah, bro. As soon as we blasted, I had literally gotten out right before that. Literally in this candle, I got out and I saw this happen. I'm like, fuck. Adam, my guy, what up? Talking the same from the daily. Yeah, literally. Long on ES at 7431 would have been a grind. 7431. Yeah, that's a tough hold. Damn, 31. You took that long or what, Logan? I was long at 7426. And sold too early like usual. Yeah, I know there's a Jake level up above us as well, right? Which literally lines up with that, almost identical to what I have regular. So yeah, Jake's level is up here. For electronic. So that green line would be Jake's level. So it lines up after literally delivering away from another Jake level that we had underneath here. So similar system. As I started streaming, I've been kind of paying attention more to those Jake levels, just because I know a lot of you guys are probably watching them, and they're fairly similar areas of interest, I would say. But yeah, so far, chat, I literally only have two levels: this swing high on NQ and this swing low, given that it is discount. So this red line is just the swing high to swing low. It's a discounted low. So yeah, just waiting and seeing if we completely invalidate that bullish gap on the hourly. Potential targets for shorts would be that area, that 29,008. But if we hold, of course, that bullish gap, I'm a little hesitant to try any shorts. Again, I'm bullish bias on the higher time frames, like I keep saying over and over again. But given that ES already took out this bearish gap in premium of the range, I anticipate some sort of minimum consolidation, right? Consolidation or retracement / pullback. So yeah, I guess the next level for ES would be for me that 471 if we do continue, which would be the daily gap fill. And on NQ, it's of course that 419.75, which would be again that bearish gap entry. I hope you guys are understanding why, overall context, and why I'm looking for what I'm looking for. It's because of overall higher time frame direction and bias, but also premium and discounted ranges. Christian, respectfully, how come you don't use levels in conjunction with ICT concepts? Isn't that an extra validation? No shade as myself. Use a lot of ICT stuff, but love me a 4-hour FEG. Yeah, so it's funny that you say that, because I would, when I first started using incorporating Jake's system, I would try to apply it all, but then I came to realize, and I got this from a book called Sway. After you get diminishing returns after a handful of confluences. So after, I think the sweet spot was 5. So after that sweet spot being 5 confluences, you hit this point of what's considered like a point of diminishing returns, where no added confluences make your edge better, right? So for me, I realized that adding more was actually making me more hesitant. It would make me miss trades. It would make me mismanage positions. And it was for that reason, right? It was for the reason that I was looking at a lot. I was trying to incorporate it all, thinking that the more I add to my system, the more I incorporate into my trading edge, the more money I'd make. So to answer that question is like, I don't use them, but I look at them for stream, because I know, again, you guys are watching them and you guys mention them. But yeah, I think it adding too much. I already have a decent amount of confluences, but adding more, I believe that wouldn't make me more money. If anything, it would make me hesitate, jump the gun. It would make me because it's happened, like where I see a trade setup presenting itself, I'm like, no, but there's a level there, and it just, I rather keep it simple to the point where I only look at a handful of things, right, and make my decisions off of those handful of things, rather than having, because I could put on EMAs, I can put on VWAP, I can put on I can look at supply demand, I can look at all of these things, which they all work, but that would be me mixing up variables, and those variables are not tested for me. So I just don't want to alter something that's already working. Mastermind 7, fuck yeah. I was Mastermind 5. I like the beats you're playing in the background. Fuck yeah, thank you, my guy. Ron G just started with the music. Fuck yeah. Yeah, it keeps it a little bit more engaging, I think. Too much noise. Yeah, I wouldn't even call it noise. I would just call it more, I call it, yeah, too many variables. Because at the end of the day, trading, and I know Jake was talking about this either on a reel or on stream today, I forgot. But he was saying like trading is 50-50. You put on a trade, and it's either gonna go up or down, right? No matter how many confluences you have, it's either gonna go up or down. Now, why make it more complex than it has to be? Literally, Logan, paralysis by analysis. Sold my Microsoft calls too early, pain. Yeah, every time I get that feeling, and that feeling I had today, I was like, low-hanging fruit. All I need is a small piece, right? All I need is a small piece. I posted my trade on my Instagram, so if you guys want to check it out, the exact entry and exit, feel free to do so. But yeah, I sold it around before this big pop, and the idea was to hold until that level, or ES, I don't have it marked now, but ES literally tapped it. So yeah, I let go of another probably 1.5 R, which it hurts in the moment, but then I come back and bring myself back to reality, which is low-hanging fruit, Christian. Low-hanging fruit, low-hanging fruit, low-hanging fruit every single day. And don't get greedy, because today I felt myself getting greedy, wanting more, but the low-hanging fruit was achieved. And for me, that's all I need. So for you, I mean, that's all you really need, right? Just a small piece of those Microsoft calls, and your game, man. Your game. Too much of a good thing. Yeah, exactly. You're like, too much of working out is gonna do more harm than good, right? Too much eating healthy is, or not, I wouldn't say too much eating healthy. Too much on a calorie deficit would not be so good for your energy levels, for everything, you know? So too much alcohol is poisoning for the body. So, you know, it's a balance, as I like to call it. AXP, yes. So a fair value gap, all it is a series of 3 candles. Where the first and third candles bottom and top whip create this gap, right? And that gap is an area of interest aligned with like multi-time frame analysis. So say I was already bullish, right? Looking for a potential higher low. Instead of looking for a long here, I would essentially say I get an entry trigger here, right? The reason I really like using fair value gaps is because it gives me an area to where I can look for that. right? And if I align that with, again, multi-time frame analysis, it tends to give me pretty good areas of interest. So on price, we currently have this is an example, an hourly fair value gap where we tested, or I'll give you an example of the trade I took in the morning. Start new. In the morning, we had this bullish fair value gap, right, on the hourly, alongside a 4-hour small little fair value gap. So those are two confluences as to an area of interest. It's small, but it's there. And we had let me see. Yeah, we had London lows aligned. So a lot of confluences in my area of interest after displacing away from a weekly, again, weekly fair value gap, 1, 2, 3, that swing low, or that weekly candle's low got tapped into. So on the weekly, it tapped into that fair value gap. On the hourly, or sorry, not on the hourly, on the daily, we took out a swing low. So I guess you call it failure to go lower. So all these things are in conjunction with the 4-hour and 1-hour fair value gap that I mentioned earlier as to why I derived a trade thesis from this area. So it was like, if you call it a failure to go lower in that area of interest inside a fair value gap on the 4-hour, 1-hour, after delivering away from a daily failure to go lower and a 4-hour fair value gap. So I'm aligning the daily, weekly, given the reaction here, and I'm aligning the 4-hour, 1-hour, given the reaction here. And yeah, so same thing. Now that we delivered into a daily bearish gap in premium of the range, I'm anticipating a reaction. I don't know if we're gonna shoot right through it and invalidate it, but I'm anticipating some sort of kind of rejection, kind of like how we're experiencing now on ES. And that's why I'm hands off, right? That's why I'm not doing anything, because although we are delivering away from a hourly gap, right? What's predominantly forefront in mind for me is that bearish rejection that we had on the daily, right? On the daily, but so yeah, I'm being extra careful here, but essentially leaning more to the downside short term. And then here on the 15 minute, we have this bearish gap that we keep rejecting. 1, 2, 3. The last hour, yeah, the last hour we've been rejecting slowly. So let's see. I'm literally just hands off, waiting, and I want to see how extremes get taken. So after this high gets taken, I want to see price develop, or after this low gets taken, I want to see price develop. So for now, literally not doing anything. So I was short gold and thankfully was down to my last micro and got blown away from that monster ripper. Got TPT over that buffer. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's the power of scaling out, brother. Good shit. Good shit. Pull back into 4-hour FEGs can be so powerful. Yeah, those are my favorite. Whenever we have a 4-hour fair value gap aligned with a 1-hour in conjunction with like daily and weekly draws. So whenever I see those aligning, for me, it's a high quality setup, which is why like this morning, like this week, honestly, hasn't been the cleanest action in my opinion, just given the 4-hour. Look at this 4-hour. Just highs and lows, and it's essentially barbed wire on the weekly. All we've been doing here is, this has been the start of the week here. This is the week, right? We started off the week, Sunday Asia session. What do? We took out the lows, and now what do we do up here? We took out the highs. So we were in this range that if you don't identify, it gets tricky, right? It gets tricky, and that was partially the reason why I took my longs off pretty early in the morning at that swing high on ES. So you call it barbed wire action, you can call it chop, you can call it range, but yeah, this, although I am higher time frame bullish, given this range, this barbed wire action, and given we took out the swing high on the weekly range, it leads me to believe that we're gonna have to, not gonna have to, but we're gonna pull back into the range. And but yeah, I don't like trading against the higher time frame, which is why I am on the sidelines right now. If you look at what's happening here, we rejected that last up handle before the down move, right? In at OTE, that 0.62 tapped it to the tick. To the tick. Convert. We keep projecting prior day highs here, so it just added confluences, I guess, to for price to trade back down lower. Yeah, I don't really like trading against the higher time frame, so this taking these wouldn't really be what I take, which I'm not taking, but I'm trying to read price here and kind of see what I see. So what I see is literally what I explained, which was the higher time frame getting achieved on ES. So, and me anticipating a pullback back into the range, considering market conditions for the week, and considering the 15 minute and where we are. Yeah, I guess considering a small retracement, at least to these lows down here. Considering taking these on evals, on some evals, nah, I'm not gonna force it. I'm trying to force it for stream, but yeah, I guess what you guys can take is the read, like why I see what I see, but that's about it. You said Lomeli Loki looking like Larry Wheels today. My guy. Low state. Oh, pullbacks. Hell of a day for me. Good, good and bad. Why good and why bad? Lost 4 evals and made back minus 1K on a funded. How did you lose those evals? Was it like the straight up degen mode, or was it that you took just say 3 losers in a row? What do you think about gold? Let's see, let's check out GC. Let's see what GC's got to offer here. Start on the weekly here. Actually, gold I never really look at unless it's on stream. But yeah, what I see is this. Remove drawings. So the monthly is uptrending, creating a, I guess you could say, potential higher low. Monthly. The weekly we're in a bearish gap here, which we're kind of respecting the CE. The daily, what's the daily doing here? The daily just disrespected that bearish gap here and is now, I guess, creating lower lows and lower highs. So right now I'd be more bearish, for sure. Be more bearish. Weekly, trying to see. I never really look at gold. We just took out these lows, so I would be anticipating price to come back and trade back into premium of the range. So long we hold this bearish gap here on the daily, I think we trade lower, which is also a BPR. So all a BPR is we have this bullish gap here, right? That we inverted with speed, and now so long we hold this BPR or this bearish order block here, I'm still bearish. But if we invert this, I guess wouldn't be touching this. Wouldn't be touching this. New week opening gap. What's the new day opening gap look like? So yeah, we're at an interesting area here. We're at the new week opening gap for gold. We're at this bearish gap here on the 4 hour. Bearish gap there on the 4 hour. Daily bearish order block. See, we're at OTE, which is the 0.62 to 0.79 area. So yeah, I personally wouldn't be longing this, but I'd be more interested in shorts on gold. On gold, man. Yeah, I wouldn't be longing this. More interested in looking for potential shorts. Potential shorts, my G. Bro, Rye Guy, you have a very catchy name, my guy. Rye Guy, the Fly Guy. Ryan, my guy, what up, brother? Mi hermano, what up, brother? You take anything this morning? I guess I haven't asked you that. The like rejection after a huge manipulation up. Fire such for a month. I'm not expert, but some. Yeah, it depends on how you approach them. Jove. It depends on how you approach them. Like if you're using the evals to only trade, say, call it two, three red trades in a row, and you blow them and you blew them. So you know that's okay. But if you literally were only risking, say, 200 on a 50K eval and you manage to blow that, then that's an issue. Because man, eval fees add up. They add up, and I think you should be treating them just how you would trade your regular account, but just be more what's the word? Be more slightly higher risk than you would trade a regular account, in my opinion, just to pass them faster. Hit daily loss on 2 fundeds out of sheer greed. That's my giveaway account, but about to pass you to get. Fuck yeah, hell yeah. Was that a TPT account, Cup of Joe? That's me more than. Yeah, I think for me personally as well, more than 2 trades a day, a session. Bro, I can't stress this enough. Like, more trades is not more money, right? Like for my AM sessions, I try to stick to any given week. I try to stick to anywhere from like 3 trades to 7 trades a week on my AM session, only showing up for the first 2 hours of market open. Think about that. 3 to 7 trades a week is my goal, or not my goal, but kind of what I found to be like 8 quality setups. And the most I've gone without actually trading for AM has been 3 days in a row. And after I go through those periods, and then say Monday through Wednesday, I didn't take anything. I remember that week because it kind of reinforced a lot of what I was thinking. Monday through Wednesday, I literally showed up for, it was like 2.5 hours. This was prior to the project. And Didn't take nothing. I was so by day 3, I was like, fuck, like what am I missing? Right? I came back, reviewed. I'm like, okay, nothing is really a plus in my opinion, although I did potentially miss one trade. Thursday came around, I caught, I think it was like a 4.5R trade. And it just reinforces things in your brain to where it's like, you don't need to take trades every single day. All you got to do is show up. And if you don't like anything, if it's not a fuck yes, then it's a fuck no. And I think that's the mentality every single one of you guys should have. Currently short gold. Fuck yeah. Gold at 4539. $4,539. Okay, word. Yeah, I guess what you're fighting against here is that big displacement up. And we did take out, again, we did take out these swing lows, right? We're kind of trading back up into the range. So yeah, I guess the new week opening gap, that daily bearish order block, and being we are at OT of the range, I am leaning more bearish short term. But I don't know specifically if I would take this trade here after that range, but I think you are aligned in as far as direction goes. Yeah, FOMC minutes is your. I think it's at, what time is it at, chat? 11:30 or 11? Red folder FOMC. Oh yeah, NVIDIA has earnings after hours too, right? NVDA. So how's a daily looking on NVIDIA? NVIDIA's chart is looking, yeah, NVIDIA's chart is looking amazing for a potential swing, huh? We'll see what earnings does for NVIDIA, but yeah, NVIDIA's been on a fucking run. Let's look at the monthly. Yeah, NVIDIA's crazy. Fucking NVIDIA. Was it really your rap channel, right, guy? What it do, Ramirez, my guy? How's it going, brother? Oh yeah, dude. Been holding since 7, partial that high position before 11, letting the pass kind of run on in Q. Bro, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Been crushing it, G. Fuck yeah. Where's your target? Is it? Oh yeah, there's that rake level, right? Which is like around, it was like around 410-ish, right? If I remember correctly, Brian. It's funny, my brother started trading, what was it, like 2 years ago now? And I literally just told him, I gave him everything I knew. I was like, here's what I know, and see what you resonate with more, right? And he's been experimenting with everything, and what he kind of found like he gravitated towards was literally how Jake trades, which is, it's interesting how like different personalities gravitate towards different systems. And for him, I would say he trades a lot more like Jake than I do. He's what I would call a higher R multiple type of trader, but with that comes more losses. But when he wins, he wins. Like, I'm sure he probably entered somewhere around down here and he's still holding. More size, yeah, it was my TBT account. Fuck. NVIDIA releases earnings right after close. Typically, it's like 30 minutes, no longer than 30 minutes after close. They're out. FOMC out. Okay, they're out. Fuck yeah. Not much of a reaction then. It was at 12, but shut it down. Good luck, brother. Where could you see GC hitting? I'm not sure, honestly. Like the chart here is let's remove everything. Because the monthly here, what I'm seeing is we reacted off this small little bullish gap here, right? We traded higher and then we rejected that last up candle before the down move. The weekly got essentially a change in state, right? If we take the swing high to swing low, we traded into premium of the range. And now let's see. Now we're essentially at discount of the range, right? So price is fractal, right? Like we take the swing high to swing low, premium, swing high to swing low now, discount. But at this point, I would anticipate price to at least retrace back up to premium shortly. But yeah, it's in this weird range where I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't be doing anything. I mean, I've never traded gold myself, but if I was looking to trade it, I wouldn't touch it because of where we are. But I know someone asked me earlier, like, what do I think? I think it's tough, honestly. But given we did sell off. We did take out sell side, which is the swing lows. Who knows? Maybe we react, like I said earlier, we react off that new week opening gap and that bearish order block. And if we do, we trade back lower. But right now it's in that weird little range where the weekly traded. Again, look at this. It happens on every single instrument asset, which we trade back to equilibrium. And all this is you're trading under the assumption that price always reverts back to the mean, or always reverts back to what's considered a fair value, right? It's a mean reversion strategy or way of looking at markets. So after price reverts back to the mean, right? You just keep doing that in every single time frame or every single leg and time frame, and you align that with trend, with fair value gaps and order blocks, and you come up with an assumption. Like right now, we're at discount of the range, right? So I wouldn't necessarily be shorting this. I'd be looking for a potential. I'd be sitting cash and looking for price to develop, essentially. Like I mentioned earlier, we do have a bearish gap here. We do have a swing high here in premium. So we'll see. But compare the weekly with gold, right? Versus NQ. I think the attention for those who do trade gold should be on NQ and ES, at least for now. But of course, the second I walked away from my computer goes to the moon. Silver push this morning or what? Let's see. 5 minute. Fuck. It's crazy how much silver moves, right? With one contract, it's fucking absurd. Fucking crazy. Yeah, this type of action chat, I don't think it's good to put on any sort of risk. Right? How far to the right do you look for the left? Do you look for FEGs also if price went through it? So for me, it doesn't depend. It's more so like on what's literally right to the left of me. So I work in conjunction with higher time frames, right? So if I pop up and open the weekly, right? Just simple, a quick breakdown. What do we have on the weekly? We have this bullish gap. I don't care about this one, right? I don't care about this one down here because we're not going to get there, at least in the short, immediate term. On the daily, here, let's remove everything. Remove. So that was the weekly. the weekly fair value gap. On the, then I pop up the daily. I'm like, okay, what are we doing here, right? Premium discount. In premium of the range, I see this bearish fair value gap, right? So I mark it down as a potential target, which again, like I mentioned earlier, ES already took it. ES took it. Now, pop back open NQ. So now what do I expect from price? So now I take that leg, we created divergence, NQ being the weaker asset. The 4 hour, what's the 4 hour doing? This has been the weekly range, right? This has been the week so far. Right? Is that directional at all for the week? The answer is no. So for me, how I trade, I would anticipate price to pull back a little bit and come back into the range. And if it doesn't, then I adjust, right? And I try to look for a continuation setup back into all-time highs, which again, my draw is all-time highs again, given the reaction off the weekly fair value gap. But what I do have conviction on is that price would revert back to the mean. So how do I derive that conclusion? Is using the fib, using premium discount. Right now we're at premium of the range. Here, it's easier to explain it on ES because I'm getting my everything off of ES here. Premium is at ES is at premium of the range, in that bearish gap, or what we'd call it BPR, right? This bullish gap got inverted. And now we have this bearish gap that we're testing. So there's two in conjunction. So I don't think there will be much from NQ and ES today. So the 4 hour, new 4 hour candle opened. Yeah, so we tested it, and now on the 4 hour, let's delete everything. On the 4 hour, what I'm seeing is price action and how it's been trading. Take the swing low, swing high. Take out these lows just to come back higher. Now we'll see what happens here. I would anticipate some sort of pullback, at least back into some form of PD array. Maybe that swing low is what ends up holding, but right now I'm not confident in taking longs because of where we are. Although I am long biased, and I guess to answer your question, it's like I look at fair value gaps in a sequence order, and the more displacive one fair value gap is, the more importance I weigh on it, right? So for this one, right, it's displacive, more displacive than, let's say, this little one down here. So the more displacive one is, I hold more weight into, and the more, if we displace past highs, for example, that just immediately gives it more importance. And so yeah, I guess it's the size and where we are structurally, and also where we are in conjunction with multi-time frame analysis, right? Let's see if I find an example. So for example, here, replay. Let's quiet those down. So this here is a fair value gap, right? Where we have a swing low right below it. So we got a failure to go lower, then we got a fair value gap tap. So here we have two essentially confluences telling me, okay, if, let's see how the 4 hour is looking. And the 4 hour also has a small little fair value gap here. So that's kind of how I weigh my I guess, importance on price. And I think I actually took this because I remember this chart. And let's go on the 15 minute. The 15 minute has like these little swing lows here, order block. So now, yeah, I actually did take this. I took this into premium of the range. So that was my target because, again, premium discount, swing high in premium of the range. And my entry was, I forgot what my entry was, but it was either somewhere around here or somewhere around here. But yeah, this is actually a good example. It was not only a fair value gap on the 4 hour, it was a fair value gap on the hourly, but it also was a failure to go lower on the hourly, which was sell side liquidity. And if we take premium and discount, let's see if it was, yeah, this is a perfect example here, chat. Discount of the range, we have sell side liquidity sitting right below us. We have a fair value gap on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, right? So there we have already what, 4 confluences, and the target is premium of the range. We have a bearish fair value gap on the hourly. There was a swing high on the 15-minute. And although my targets were up here, this will always be the low hanging fruit because it's the reversion back into the mean, right? Low hanging fruit. So that's kind of how I approach my trading. This is a perfect picture example, honestly. If you guys are wondering how I trade, this is literally a picture perfect example. I'm listening. Yeah, fuck yeah, Jay. I literally, it was a random selection, but that's literally a perfect picture example. This is literally my edge. This is what I trade in conjunction with like multi-time frame analysis. I've never played with value profile, or I guess I have earlier in my career, but not as lately. Mr. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Fuck it, man. Would have been up a band. Yeah, but that thinking is always, man, it fucks you because tomorrow you're like, fuck, maybe it looks good today, and maybe I catch it today, and that's where you get fucked. Yeah, everything, Roth CAC, everything is extended hours for me. I feel like I feel somewhat blinded looking at this compared to this. Thanks for, yeah, I got you, brother. Nerd, my guy, what up, brother? Nothing, I think, yeah, I think if you guys rewatch that segment, this right here, this will be very, very beneficial. Can't stress this enough. Leave, where we at? Remove and Q. I really do have a fuck it mentality, Lily. I know I'm gonna make mistakes, but I need to touch the fire to learn that it's hot. Feel me? Bro, yeah, I get you. It's almost, bro, that mentality is a self-sabotage mentality. At least it was for me. Like I'd say, fuck it. I'm already down. Like I'm unprofitable. I'm already losing. I'm already down on the week. Fuck it. Like what else can I lose, right? And it wasn't until that mental shift happened for me in my head, which was, no, that's not, I shouldn't be, fuck it. Like what I'm here to do is show up every day and try to improve my skill, try to improve my edge. And the result is just a reflection of how much I'm improving, right? And for me to just, I literally, it took me a period of like a year and a half where I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, if I really want to get better, I have to show up every day and not care about what happens. And that mental shift over the course of months and months was, for me, I think that like, I guess that Nike swoosh effect, which was, okay, it's not so much like my trading results don't really, like today's results don't really matter. They do matter, but they don't matter, right? Because tomorrow's another day, next week is another week, and so on and so forth. Like you're here to trade another day, and eventually if you have that mentality, you're gonna zoom out and be like, what the fuck? Like life is interesting, life is crazy. And that's why I always say, like the less you care about something, or at least in trading, like the less importance you give it, although you still gotta put in the work, right? But the more detached you are from it, the better you are. And it's for that reason. Lomeli, my brother, love watching and learning from you. You do a great job explaining and educating in these videos. Fuck yeah, Jimbo. Man, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Shocked to hear when you said you are 26, you are wise and humble. My guy, appreciate you, brother. I credit that to all the reading I've done and just life in general. Lost, are you trading CFDs? No, never touched them. It's funny, the one time I got scammed, the only time I've been scammed, I bought this course. It was like early in my career from this dude. I bought a course and it was like a CFD course, or he traded CFDs, and he would hit, I'm not gonna say names, but he would say he'd get in and he'd be done within the first minute to 5 minutes every morning. I'm like, holy shit, okay. I looked into it. It was a form of payment, was PayPal. As soon as I purchased, it was a Google Drive sheet. That was the course. It was like 3 pages, and it was, I was like, what the fuck did I just pay for? It was a video recorded on like an old iPhone, and yeah. Dude had a following though, which was fucking, I think he still does. Lost a week of progression in the last 2 days. It's been a realization that I need to go through this to see the other side. Every day has the potential with the more I make mistakes. Bro, every cup of Joe, I think you and everyone would benefit from this. Literally fucking stick to this one thing, which is only look to trade out of every do this for the next month, right? For the month of May, it's gonna be June soon. So for the month of June, do this one thing. Show up every single day, right? Every 20 trading days, and only look to trade 10 of those days. So every day when you walk into the session, ask yourself, is this a day where price could be good, right? And if so, what's your area of interest, right? So have those 2 things set in mind and observe price. It might be that, yes, today's a very good day, and yes, this is my entry area of interest for me to kind of lock in and look for a potential long, for example. Sure, then go ahead. If those 2 things align, take it, right? Now, it might be a day where you're like, I don't have a good read in the morning. Because there's days like that for myself where I just wake up, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I need to see more from price for me to actually have a read, right? And if that's the case, then your answer is no, I don't have a read. Today might be a cash day, and my area of interest is here, or I don't have an area of interest because I don't have a read. So on those days, I try to understand what your mind is telling you. On those days, you might be thinking, fuck, I feel like taking something, although I don't have a read. And the more you get into your trading journey, the more you'll realize that you have to be in tune with your mind. You can't ignore it because you're getting signals. Days where you feel like taking something, days that you go on tilt, are usually days where you don't have a good read, where you don't have, price isn't yet at your area of interest or at your level. And it literally starts the morning of, the week of, the month of. So everybody, it's a challenge that I got for everybody. Go into June with the idea that you're only trading 10 out of those 20 trading days, right? And you're only looking to trade, say, take 3 to 5 trades for one session, AM session. It's gonna feel counterintuitive at first because it feels like maybe you might go 2 days without taking a trade, and it feels unproductive. Profitable trading will feel unproductive, right? And maybe you still hop on everyone else's stream, but you don't take anything. Maybe you take them on evals, right? And this is literally the advice that I give everyone that's close to me that wants to start trading. This one advice will change your fucking trading, I promise you. But it's the nature of how things work. We're literally sitting in front of a screen, and if something looks decent, your brain goes to, this could be a winner. This could be the one that gives me a payout, that passes my eval, that so on and so forth, right? So I promise you, if you follow these criteria that I just mentioned, you will be far more ahead in 1 month than you have been in the whole year. Try it out, chat. I genuinely challenge you to try it out, and then come back to me at the end of June and see what you have, right? See what plays out. Dude, hey, I'm new, top funded, you want to trade options or opposites, but could you explain the 40%? Yeah, so the 40% consistency rule just basically means that one day can't be greater than 40% of total profits. to pass. So you essentially can't make, and if you do have more, say you have 1,500 for one day, you would have to make slightly above 3,000 the next day. Or not the next day, but you essentially would need more days to pass. Dude, I've blown 5 fundeds in one day. No copy trading. Huh? Boy, that's tough. That's tough, but brother, it's part of the game. It's part of the game, but you decide when that stops. It sounds crazy, but you decide when that fucking degenerism stops. Fuck that. Yeah, it's tough when one, and that's probably why you blew them, because 2 were already 1 day from payout. Brother, I'm not proud to admit, but I've blown accounts that were literally 1 day away from payout, almost max payouts. Fucking stressful. So I've been there. I'm gonna try it. Yeah, Elder, give it a shot. Give it a shot. I promise. Every single 150 you guys would change your trading forever. I promise you. My problem I'm experiencing is pulling the trigger too fast, so I enter, and if it doesn't go my way, I keep entering. So I'd be down 8 trades, then make it back. What that sounds like is you don't have a defined entry model. So you need criteria for what defines an entry, right? And once that, maybe it's a simple trigger, a simple like break of the prior bar's high, your stop is the prior bar's low, and you only take that at key levels. And if that stops you out, so be it, right? But it sounds like you don't have a defined entry. If you're taking 8 trades in one area, yo, absolutely try it out. Fuck yeah. Maybe we make it a challenge on Project 365 to where if you guys do try it, track results and tag me on Instagram. I'll repost everything. Fuck yeah, hell yeah, Cup of Joe. Keep me updated. I'm genuinely curious if that, because at the end of the day, everyone trades different styles, but I think where you could, and this fucking book, the Trade Mindfully book, talks about this. Your edge as a retail trader is your mind, but you're allowing that to, almost be counterintuitive. You decide when you put on risk and when not to. I'm down to 15K this year. I'm going to come back. Don't worry, brother. Bro, I've been there. I know that exact feeling, bro. You'll bounce back, brother. You'll bounce back. Yeah, this 15-minute chart is not looking good. And I would argue that it's for that same reason that the daily took out premium of the range here. And like I mentioned before stream started, is I'm anticipating one of 2 things, is consolidation to happen or a small pullback, or a pullback back into discount. But even if we go and touch premium on NQ, I'm not interested. Why? Because ES already tagged it. So if one of them tags it and I'm in a position, I 10 out of 10 times, I always exit my NQ position. It makes you learn or cry. It makes you cry and learn. Yeah, right, in that order. Yeah, I think a lot of, going back to that challenge, the June challenge, it's that subconsciously what's happening there is you're learning how to detach. All those criteria and rules, you're learning how to detach away from the actual outcome of trading, which, if you learn how to do so, it'll, again, I promise you, it'll change your trading, because I know it changed mine when that was like, I guess, the clicking moment for me. It was that trading profitable feels unproductive. She was so emotional today for staying my career. Big reason. Yeah, if you have to, you know, use those lockouts. M1 Keister, rewind, and I promise you, it's a challenge that we're starting here in June. We'll see who goes along with it. But I do think that if you're looking to change your trading, again, I'll make it long story short. It was show up every day, right? Starting June, show up every single day with the idea that you're only trading 10 out of the 20 trading sessions. That's one. You're looking to take 3 to 7 trades a week. That's two. And you're only looking to trade one session. I would say that most of you guys would benefit from strictly trading just simply AM session. And so that's 3. And of course, like your other rules, like no more than 2 trades a session. No more than don't try to stay over that cutoff time. So I would say the first 2 hours, if nothing presents itself, just call it a day. And then completely detach, delete TradingView from your phone, delete any other app that you could potentially be checking charts on. Because trust me, if you have the app, I know you guys are a fucking bunch of degenerates just like myself. You're gonna keep checking things and so on and so forth. But yeah, the overall objective is to come into the morning with two questions in mind. Is today a day where I should put on risk? And what's my area of interest? What levels am I looking to trade off of for me to put on risk? If one of those two things aren't defined, that's more than likely an indication for the morning that you should compile 1 out of those 10 cash days, right? So your goal going into June is compile 10 cash days. Literally do that for the month of June, and I promise you, your fucking trading will change. I promise you, because your trading issues are for a lot of people, what I would assume based off of kind of what I've seen and what I've experienced is not a lack of reading markets, but a lack of mental control, right? A lack of systems within a limitless environment that trading presents itself, right? The same reasons that brought you into trading, which is the freedom, the potential to make a shit ton of money, is the same reasons that keeps you away from profitability, because you have no boss, you have no rules, you have no accountability, right? So you need to create rules in an environment that literally you can push buttons all day, right? There's no rules to that. So yeah, I think that everyone would benefit from that, genuinely. So to answer your question, M1 Keister, that's what it was. Find some longs here, let's go. Fuck yeah, AXP. If you know your phone, your size and defend risk, so you got to get better price without it being too GG. Yeah, rough. Yeah, I agree. Another thing though is like limit yourself. Maybe you don't average in, right? Maybe you just set wider stops with smaller risk and get out until you're wrong, and maybe you only give yourself 2 attempts at that area of interest. And if that doesn't play out, you got to be okay with the aftermath, which is seeing the trade play out without you, seeing the trade move against you. But so long you follow your system and your plan and your rules and your manage your expectations, which is huge. I think that that's what matters. Yeah, I mean, I don't need trading. I don't need trading either. I just really find it as a challenge mentally and enjoy it. Yeah, Cup of Joe. Bro, I think for me, I think that's what kept me going at it, was the fact that it was such outside of trading. It made me read all these books. It made me go to bed early. It made me eat healthy. It made me go to the gym. Honestly, trading gave me something to look forward to every morning, something to get better at. So I agree. Right now, hey Squid, I am on the sidelines. I guess you could say mixed. So I'm not looking for anything. I'm waiting for price to, and I explained why earlier on stream. But yeah, we're currently delivering bullish and on the higher time frames. But what's keeping me away from taking anything was that my morning trade, which I took off of my bullish bias, achieved my overall target, which was premium of the range on ES, which was a bearish gap, which was the 454. I need to delete the app. Bro, I think we all should. I think everyone on here should delete the app. Just deleted TradingView from my phone. Bro, it's crazy how, and now what I'm working on, to be honest, to be completely blunt, is detaching from Instagram. Like now that I'm getting a little bit more traction, I feel like it's now Instagram that I need to learn how to detach. So shit, maybe it's deleting the app after PM session, right? Or after recording or posting videos for the morning. But that's what I need to work on. TradingView is the only time I download it is when I'm managing a position after I walk away. But yeah, other than that, it's off. Over trading. Same, let's go. Fuck yeah. Bro, yeah, trading is that career where your more inputs does not equal more outputs. In fact, less inputs equals more outputs. And it's completely against everything you know, completely against work, right? In every work environment, the more you work, the more you get rewarded for that work. In trading, I can sit here and stare at a screen all fucking day and lose money, right? Methodic, my guy, what up, brother? Do you consider a new day opening gap still open? Wait, do you consider new day opening gap still open? New day opening gap still open. I think new day opening gap is still... Oh, I see what you mean. No. No. The answer, no. I don't think so. Or I'm not understanding your question exactly. Gotta throw the whole phone. Bro, my worst tilt day, I had just gotten a new phone. I went outside and I smashed the phone up against the side of my house. I was so mad. That's like the most tilt I've ever gone. And that day I lost a shit ton of money doing the most stupid shit. Your setup is sick. Thank you, my guy. Appreciate it. Yeah, there are panels on the wall. I got them at Home Depot, and I got these lights here on Amazon. Yeah, yeah. Damn, that ES line was stressful hold. Shit, it's playing out for you though. For IG, I put a limit on the restriction section to 1 hour. It works for me. Yeah, for me, it's like a thing now where it's like I'm replying to a lot of DMs, and like yesterday, I went to go get lunch, and I was sitting down and I was with my girlfriend, and I catch myself itching to open up my phone just to catch up on DMs, catch up on it's addicting. It's genuinely addicting, and I need to get better at detaching from Instagram. Genuinely. For me, that hour restriction, I just fucking cancel that shit out and log back in. For me, I literally have to leave, like what I've been trying to do is like, say I go visit my parents or go have dinner, just literally leave my phone in the car and be present. And I noticed that a lot of times I feel better afterwards. Like before I started posting, I genuinely would delete Instagram. I would have a personal Instagram, but I wouldn't really scroll on Instagram and I noticed the feeling I would have while being on Instagram and not being on Instagram. And, or at least Instagram for me is the only social platform that I really use or have. But yeah. On NQ, do you consider the new day opening gap still open? No, I don't. I don't know. Because this is the new day opening gap and we literally filled it right as soon as market opened. So no, I don't consider it open. So cool, MES Polar Bear, my guy, appreciate you. Yeah, I thought that's what the question was, but for me, I don't really look at it like that. I look at it more as like an area of interest. But yeah, to answer your question, I think with how I trade, I would consider it filled. I mean, it is filled. Absolutely crushed NQ, but gold is my biggest challenge. Yeah, I think it's given how, I mean, shit, again, like I keep saying, look at gold and look at NQ on the daily chart. We've been in a range since like 2 months or like a month and a half, whatever this time period is. Or not so much a range, but we had this sharp sell-off, right? And then we haven't really moved much on like the weekly standpoint, right? Whereas in NQ, however, you guys know the deal with NQ. You guys know the deal with NQ, chat. Thanks, Duncan. $4.15 candle close at the overnight, took it, but the open never came back to it. 4:15 p.m. close. Okay, are we speaking Eastern time? Yeah, right. So 4:15 would be 1:15 my time. And then you said, okay, but open. Oh, I see what you mean. So I look at, so you're talking about just regular trading hours, right? Yeah, I mean, I typically don't really look at it, but one thing I did learn from this book, it was called Power Trading. Let me get it for you, hold on. Sorry, I got the book because I forgot the name. Power Trading, Power Living. It talked about gaps, and one thing it said is if we don't, I forgot the statistic it gave, but it looked at what you're looking at here. If we don't fill the gap within, like, I think it was like the first 2 hours or first hour, and we hold above it, then more than likely that day will not fill the gap. But yeah, those gaps tend to get filled. Like this gap over here didn't get filled. But yeah, I don't really look at that specifically. I look at more with extended hours on. Are the panels glued or nailed in? They are nailed in. So my brother wants to install those back at his place so he can record videos and I'm gonna help him probably set them up here soon. Literally the same setup. So if you guys see another face with the same setup, just know it's my dog. You still in here, Brian? One thing that helped me stop overtrading is baseball at bat metaphor. I'm up to the bat today. My goal is to take a couple of best swings. I can take 3 strikes and I'm out. That's a good analogy, brother. And I would even push it further where it's like, what are you looking to hit, right? You're looking to hit home runs or base hits. So yeah, fire analogy. Good shit, Adam. I like that. Up to bat, yeah. And then before the day even starts, you can ask yourself, do I want to go up and how's the weather conditions? How's the wind? How's my sleep? Does my right arm kind of tweak a little bit, right? Like ask yourself these things in trading perspectives and be honest with yourself, right? And just know that productive trading will feel unproductive. If it's taken during the overnight, then that's considered satisfied. I think it's the way you look at it. Like for me, I rarely look at regular trading hours like this. I don't really look at price like this, where I know some do, but yeah, I have to get the exact quote and statistic on gaps like this, but I just know that book talked about it. And if they don't, what I do remember is, if might be butchering the words, but I'll come back and talk about it tomorrow if they're wrong. But if the gaps don't fill within the first hour and a half, or might have been 2 hours, it was along those lines, then it will remain open. But I don't use it like that. I use more so extended hours on. It works well because it brings a calm energy vibe. Fuck yeah. Base hits, exactly. Yeah, Adam, I like that. I like that. Love this conversation. I'm always telling people trade easy, trading is easy. Yeah. And it's hard to explain to people that, because some people ask me, like, can I get into, like, how do I get into trading? Can you help me? And it's always tough, because I think what I conclude as to whether someone would do well in trading or not is how is their life outside of how's their life is essentially like, what do they do for work? How are they structured? And do I see them sticking to it for a long period of time until they understand what trading really is, right? Because trading is not like a technical thing. It's like, sure, you need to learn the fundamentals, but trading is a game where you will be tested every single day. And some people just don't like that. Some people just want more, something that's a little bit more safe, something that's a little bit more conservative, right? And yeah, once they realize how hard it is, then that's when you're able to really understand what trading, or not understand. That's when you're really able to explain what trading is to other people. People, I swear, chat, like some people think I gamble. When I first started, I remember my mom and dad, they had no clue what the fuck I was doing. I dropped out of school. In their eyes, I dropped out of college to fucking be a degenerate. They were like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, Miggy, you said most traders spent time in the fitness world, lifting, or competitive sports. Yeah, like it's funny, like one of the criteria for S&B Capital to hire somebody, they have to have they like to go after college athletes for the reason that, for that competitiveness drive that athletes bring. And so yeah, I agree. I used to be very big into soccer. I was playing soccer at a pretty high level in high school, and towards my junior and senior year, I stopped and I had this nagging injury that just kept reappearing, but that competitiveness transferred into other areas of life afterwards, which was one of them was like trading and try to find ways to make money, and another way was fitness and overall diet, nutrition, things that called my name. Parents cannot comprehend looking at candlesticks to make money. They get it. They understand now. They understand and they're accepting of what I do. But it took a while. It took a while. Yeah, people much rather say, "Can I give you money?" which has always blown my mind. Yeah, I still get those comments to this day. I still get those comments. Can I give you 10 grand and we split profits and you just trade it for me? How much do you bench? The most I bench is 365. 365 pounds, but and it's recorded, of course, but I don't bench heavy anymore. That was like a year and a half ago. Lomeli, good afternoon. Tati, what up, what up? How's it going? News market, bro, literally. Kind of called it coming to the session. I called this type of action. I played club soccer for many years and coach players. Yeah, fuck yeah. Same environment. I was drawn to trading from a competitive sport background as well. I'm addicted to competing against myself and self-improvement, and trading is a great way to challenge those skills. Fuck yeah, I think it becomes like counterintuitive when you're trading to try to make money. But if you're trading to try to get better and actually master the skill, that's where it gets fun and you kind of get back to those roots. So I agree, Adam. No, I haven't. I took one trade in AM, which I posted on my Instagram. And for PM, I have yet to take anything. I came into the session anticipating this type of action. So yeah, right now, nothing, just vibing. Holy shit. Adding back into longs again. Let's see the end of day pump for NVIDIA. I always argue that you spend your time at a 9 to 5 building someone else's legacy is more of a gamble than trading. JTP, yeah. I'm under that same belief, bro, honestly. But yeah, trust me though, like when in the midst of it, it's hard to think that way because those minds of like, I would always think about like when my mom and dad would tell me like, get something safe, get your career, because it partially is true, right? It is true. Like having a stable source of income will always be better than, I wouldn't say it'll always be better, but it's the reasonable thing you think to do, right? And if you're trying to go for something greater, that requires risk, right? And it requires you to be able to stomach risk. It requires you to have blind faith on what's ahead. It's almost like you're shooting your shot and you're closing your eyes, hoping it works. Hopefully you make it in. And I think that the more time you endure, the higher your chances go up because your competition, I mean, in trading, competition is yourself, but like in business and life and anything else that is outside the norm, the competition is diminished the more time you're in it. And with trading, I would argue that the more time you're in it, the higher likelihood you are of succeeding because of the experience that you're getting, the knowledge you're creating, the understanding that you're getting with markets. So plays hand in hand. Bro says I don't bench heavy, but put up 365. No, I meant like I don't bench heavy now. Like now the most I'll put up, I've been doing a lot of incline lately. The most I'll bench now is 185 on incline. And then on flat, the most I'll ever put up is 225. And I'll just literally rep it out and try to go slow and controlled. And yeah, just been on my mobility shit lately, been on my slow and controlled. But man, I do have some days where I go in there and I try to push it. Good, trying to be like y'all goat. Fuck yeah, I appreciate you, Tati. What's your IG? It's Lomeli Trades at Lomeli Trades. So I sent a link here. We do have a giveaway today, chat. Let me see if it's still there. Let's see. Give me 1 second, chat. I saw the Discord yesterday. Let me see. Yeah, we have a giveaway today. Let's see. Chad, did Mitch do a giveaway today or no? Okay, yeah, so we got an account giveaway today. Or account giveaway. We got a 50K Tradeify growth account for today's stream, chat. So stay tuned for that. We'll run it here in, yeah, based off of chat, based off of how price has been acting, we'll probably run the giveaway here soon. I think doing moderate weightlifting and more frequency is better anyway. Yeah, bro, I'm under that same ideology, which is like, I don't want to put that much wear and tear in my body, which, fuck, I did that shit for years. I was trying to put up big numbers for early in my weightlifting journey. And yeah, but lately what I've been more on is like literally just trying to be healthy, trying to be mobile, trying to do more mobility work, like I said. And yeah, that's what I've been working on. The salary is the drug they give you to forget your dreams. Bro, RJV, yeah, I agree. I respond way better to upper lower versus push pull legs. Bro, you know what's crazy? Yesterday when we were talking about that, I at the gym today, I kid you not, I was thinking about doing that, switching that to upper lower. And again, like I mentioned yesterday, I tweaked my knee. So I've been doing, on the lower days, I'll be doing more like, I guess you could call it rehab work for what I'm kind of experiencing. It's a weird feeling that I have in my knees, which is, hopefully it goes away here soon. Process over profits easier said than done. But once that sets in, you'll eventually see results. Yeah, it slowly compounds, it compounds. And the next thing you know, you zoom out. You're like, holy shit. I can withdraw this amount, or I can get paid out this amount. Mitch giveaway today. Let's go. Fuck yeah, we got an account giveaway here. I will run here shortly. Yeah, this is what we call crash. This guy here, any trades today? No, nothing. I mean, look at the 15-minute. We came into the session anticipating this sort of action because of higher time frames. So I mentioned that I wanted to sit out until I guess one of these two levels got hit, either that one or this one. I'm on my fifth spinal fusion. There are no more 500-pound deadlifts in my future. All about tone and shape now. Shit, what happened? If you don't mind me asking. Jesus, fifth is wild, Mike. Yeah, what happened, Mike? My buddy said the other day, I'm trying to lift tomorrow, meaning he is going into the gym with the intention of being functional in the future. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, and I realized that pretty early. I've been changing that style like 2 years ago, which is mobility. I think mobility over being functional, being able to move is better than going in there and testing your 1 rep max. I mean, don't get it fucked up though. I would consider myself being very strong, but I don't think that's the goal. I think the goal is, can you move, right? I think that's the goal. Can you move? Can you run without being fucking winded? I guess right now I can't run because of my fucking knee, but we're working on it, chat. Victoria, what up? Made it, yeah. Not much for me today, Victoria. Fucking, this is when stream started. And this is where we are currently. Back-to-back bar wire action. We'll see what end of day gives us. We do have NVIDIA earnings, so that should be interesting. And we do have an account giveaway here that we'll run. Yeah, it's been rough. Work-related injury that affected everything now. Slipped and fell at work. Have to... wait, sorry. Fuck, that's tough, Mike. How's therapy going though, Mike? Is therapy going good? One of my uncle just recently got I think something similar, which it sucks to see because it affects your everyday life, right? It sucks. Yeah, Adam, yeah, that's a perfect combo. I still doing sports, lifting 3 times a week and running, fucking doing jiu-jitsu, I would argue that most of us in here are grown adults. And I would say that at least 9 out of 10 people watching. So there's currently 133 of you guys watching. I'd say at least 120 of you guys haven't fully sprinted in the last, since you were in high school, which is crazy to think about. Lifting for longevity is the goal. Yeah, the goal is to be strong. You want to be strong, so in your later years, you're able to hold more muscle mass as you age, right? But that's the goal. The goal isn't to, the body has a limit, so don't test it. You don't want to be like no fucking Ronnie Coleman shit, being in a wheelchair. That's not, I don't think that's the goal. Shooting for NQ 530. Okay. Great day, Lomeli. You know what I noticed, which takes a lot of discipline. You don't take trades if there's no setup. Most people would just take trades just to take in good shit. Hey, XP, my guy. Yeah, I appreciate you. And honestly, like I mentioned earlier, it's tough to not take a trade on stream. It's tough. Like if this, I wouldn't be staring at this shit, right? And the more I stare fucking at the screen, the more I'm like, we are kind of bullish, we are kind of holding, we are kind of pushing higher, we are kind of, kind of, right? And then next thing you know, boom, I'm trying shorts or trying longs here. So that's the tough part about stream. But I mean, chat, who can argue that this 15-minute looks fucking good? Unless you're holding runners, or I don't know how you trade, but for me, it's not no bueno. Agent session might be where all the volatility, yeah, for sure. Yeah, NVIDIA earnings will push NQ for sure in one or the other directions. For sure. Did you take longs in the morning when? Yes, you said, did you catch longs in the morning when we caught that giant candle? Yeah, I did. I posted it on my Instagram, and that's about the only trade I took. And so I guess we'll do this. Let's talk about my trade in the morning, and then we'll go over the giveaway. How's that sound, chat? But so let's see. So in the morning, I came in with the idea that, actually, you guys know all this. I keep explaining it over and over again. I'll tell you the exact entry, and I'll break down the entry model actually, which was we had this bearish gap here on the 5-minute, right? This was my area of interest after touching it, which was the hourly fair value gap, the 4-hour fair value gap, after delivering away from a daily failure to go lower and a weekly fair value gap. this was my area of interest. And as soon as we touched it, we tapped into everything I just mentioned. The 15-minute was essentially delivering bullish still. And the 5-minute, like I said, we had that bearish gap here. And on the 1 minute, as soon as we took that low, we reacted. That was also London lows. And here, what I was looking at was a 1 minute change in state alongside a 5-minute invert, which we got here. And took my target literally around there. It was like a 1.5 trade. And fucking, yeah, literally as soon as I exited, we got this. But the reason I took an exit there, chat, is because on the hourly, we had swing highs on ES that for me was the low hanging fruit. For me, these highs here that we had, where was it at? I believe here. Oh, this is still NQ. I was like, what the fuck am I looking at? I was like, I'm missing my swing highs here. We had these, or that one's this swing high and then that swing high. And as soon as we tapped it, which was essentially the low hanging fruit here on ES, that's where I took my target on NQ. Yeah, fire day, chat, fire morning. And since I came back from vacation, I'm basically green every single day for AM, which is nice. Which is nice. Again, I posted that trade on my Instagram if you guys want to go check it out. How long did it take for you to become profitable? I would say like 2.5 to 3.5 years. That year in between, the reason I give myself that span is I made money that year, but it was very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. You nerd, you can do peptides in your knees or stem cells to regrow all that. Negative. Ruptured my Achilles 2 months ago. Was going too hard working out. New year, new me mentality. Something is okay to yeah. Damn, you ruptured your Achilles? Fuck. What were you doing? Were you squatting? In a right guy. Yeah, it went okay. It's on me to keep moving. Everything is harder now. Standing too long, sitting too long, moving the wrong way, and sometimes giving out. I've been an avid gym goer for decades. Fuck, that's tough. It's like, I would imagine you're going through like this identity shift, which is like, you've been doing all these things for that long and now you're like, shit. But so long you have a right mentality, Mike, that's all that matters. Like, what is this trying to teach me? Maybe it was whatever you believe in. I believe in things happen for a reason. I used to hit trainings on the, I used to hit shit training, run fast, and you can do intervals, go change sprints. Fuck yeah, right, guy? Played soccer after a while and needed about 2 weeks to recover. Probably sore as shit the next day, huh? I need to read on that, bro. DD, my guy, what up, what up? You never talk about liquidity? I do, but what do you mean? What do you refer to liquidity? Like ICT liquidity or actual like order book? Likes are less. Come on, chat. Run the likes up before this giveaway here. What are we sitting at? What are we sitting at, chat? Let's see. Not now. Rake trades. Oh no, that was his old one. Chat, we're at 102 likes. Let's get at least 125. That stop loss is gigantic. You think so? Not for me, not with how I trade. It's gigantic in terms of points because of the ranges we've been having, right? One minute candle range was 100 points. I'm not gonna set my stop up to be 20, 25 ticks just to please myself or please anyone, right? The obvious swing point is down here, right? And the for me, the entry was the closure above that rectangle and this line. So long you manage your position, doesn't matter what the ranges are. What's your low-hanging fruit? It's always the area. Typically when I trade, chat, like I will always have like, okay, we're headed to here. Like say these are prior swing highs, right? And I want to find a trade somewhere in this potential higher low, right? Somewhere in this potential higher low. Although I think that price is going to come here, I never, for the most part, hold until that level. I typically take my trade off either here at that swing high or at that other swing high, but never typically until that big, or not, I wouldn't even say that big, that higher time frame draw. I think that price is gravitating towards this green line, but all I need is this. And even I don't even need a hold until that swing high. Price is fractal, right? So again, premium discount. Maybe I only take this. That's all I need. This is all I fucking need. So yeah, this is what I mean by low hanging fruit. When I first started, I would try to aim for this, where it's not that consistent. Because at this point, all I know is that price could do this. Boom, come back low. Just to do this. And then do this again. Just to do this, right? So what I'm certain on is that everything is aligning here, and maybe 3, 4, 5 times out of 10, we actually deliver clean like that, right? So this is why I always take the low hanging fruit. Clean trade, fuck yeah. The stop loss for this trade must be high, around 100 points. How do you even take it? What do you mean? Like, for me, it's normal. I just adjust the price action. Like I would assume you guys are doing the same thing. Price is moving. Like why would I adjust my stop because we're having wider ranges? Like, no, just adjust your position sizing. We're having larger ranges, right? So adjust your position size. My preferred timeframes to execute would be the 5 minute and 1 minute, and I use every time frame. I use every single time frame that's up here. I ideally would want to be aligned with the 4 hour, 1 hour, but I use every time frame. You take creatine? I go through phases where I take creatine and where I don't. But currently, literally not taking anything since I came back from vacay. Are you natty? Yes. You guys, yeah. You guys see my dad, you guys would understand. He's almost 50. He's almost 50, and he literally looks just like me. He's very, yeah. I got good genetics for my pops. How long you been working out? Since I was 13, currently 26. And yeah, started working out for a naive reason, right? I just wanted to look better and yeah, look better. And then it got to the point where I'm like, okay, I actually need this every single day. How did I meet Jake? Through Instagram. I bought his mastermind course and attended the events, and this opportunity came about after talking for a while with Jake, and I was fucking, as soon as he offered, I'm like, fuck yes. Hell no, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, shit, if I think about it, it's fucking crazy. And it's crazy because I started working out because of my dad. My dad would go on a lot of, he was more active back then than he is now, but he would go on runs, he would do push-ups and stuff at home, and me visually seeing that, I'm like, fuck, I gotta follow, right? And then he got like a bag, he hung up a bag at the house. So what did I do? I'm like, go in there and use it, right? This is what I gotta do to look good, to be healthy. So little me, I was like, I gotta follow. And then I got into soccer, or not, I was always into soccer, but I got into actually playing soccer a little bit more competitively, and yeah, was working out, but just in different ways, and that's that. Yeah, chat, let's do the giveaway here. I'm gonna run the that's awesome. Your dad was a great role model. Yeah, he was, as far as like staying active. And it's funny, like, I haven't told him this now, but he would essentially force me to eat healthy. My mom would buy like certain snacks and shit, and he would get me in trouble for eating them. He would never take them away, but he'd be like, what are you doing? Like, he'd literally look at me and be like, what are you doing? And now he's kind of eased off on eating clean and stuff, although he does eat good, but I still see him snacking here and there. Let's go. Who's your soccer? Honestly, I haven't really watched soccer. I was never a big fan of watching soccer. I was more so just always outdoors playing it. But growing up, it was for sure that whole Madrid era with I believe it was like Bale, Benzema, Ronaldo, Sergio Ramos. Who was it? Casillas, I think, as a goalie. It was Marcelo. Like that whole squad back in like 2015, 2014. Bro, goated. Yeah, 2014, bro. That whole, bro, goated. Yeah. Shit. You said Xavi. Yeah. You play any games? Never. I've never owned a video game console, and I tried playing it growing up, but I hated it. I'm too impatient. I'm like, fuck, like, I hate this. Ozil, yeah, all of them. Bro, yeah, tell me, that whole squad was fucking, Di Maria, there you go. Yeah. Bro, that whole squad was fucking goated. Yeah, that shit was, now I look at the team again, I'm like, who are these people? My boy Jerson, what up? But then again, during that time, that whole Barca was fucking stacked too. Barca was stacked. Who else was stacked? Who else? Barca. Fucking yay, bro. You guys remember when Chicharito joined Madrid? Okay, Barca, let's run the giveaway here, chat. We're running into the last 8 minutes of stream here. Let's run the giveaway, chat. I think we'll run it I got the instructions of how to do it on Stream Deck, but I have yet to do it because last time I was gonna experiment with it, I didn't want to bother Jake with the code that was gonna send him, and it was like late at night. So we'll do it the old-fashioned way here. You guys will spam chat, and I'll click a name, and you guys will what's it called? Yeah, I'll select some random winner. You guys can spam like W's and I'll record it for Instagram. That way you guys can see it's random. Not yet. Hold on. Shit. Okay, you guys go ahead and spam it, chat. So finishing off a 2-hour stream, right? About to do this 50K account giveaway. Spam W's and I'll stop on a random name. And if you haven't won yet, you guys will be the winner. And if you have won in the last couple weeks, then we'll give it to somebody else. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so it was Paul Childs 755. You are the winner. Have you won? If you haven't won yet, you are the winner. Paul Childs, have you won yet? Okay, Paul Childs, you won then. If you haven't won already, the account's yours. Just DM me on Instagram. Lomeli. Shit. I don't know if it will work with caps. At Lomeli Trades, and the link should pop up here shortly. And I will get you that account soon as stream ends. But yeah, congrats, Paul. Congrats. Go, Paul. Fuck yeah. Yeah, feel free to just DM me, Paul, and I got you with the account. Jerson, my boy, one in the chat to show Project 365 some love. My guy, appreciate you, dog. Yo, I never win the account, man. You will soon, brother. I see you on here pretty often, calling out bangers. I'm sure you're coming up here. It's random, my boy. It's random. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate the love, brother. Appreciate. I don't enter. I would give it away to trade on my personal account. AXP, yeah, honestly, that's the goal, a personal account. What do you trade, AXP? You trade similar to Mitch? Lomeli, where's that Discord, bro? Nothing yet. Potentially. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Hired Hustle. WWW. Fuck yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, I use footprint charts. That's why I was asking about FPGs. Maybe I can use both together. Shit, if it's working for you, brother, don't even look to add anything else. Footprint. Yeah, footprint charts have always interested me, but I've never attempted them. And it's of that fear that if something's work it, why switch it? But yeah, I've always been curious about it. Using the gamma exposure. Yeah, I have no clue what Mitch trades, honestly. I have no clue. But I know he's very good at it. So option change, but he basically wants to know where the dealers are positioned and makes and will make sense for them in price movement and direction based on inventory management. Okay, fuck yeah. I have I guess a very fundamental understanding of that exactly, but if you were to start talking about certain terms and what does what, you'd lose me right away. Do you pay attention to the opening print like Rake does? Would you say it's important as well? Not really. I do peep it from time to time, but it's not like a set in stone thing. Like, where was it? Like today, was it a trade? Let me see. I guess today I took it over the opening print. I took my trade slightly over here. But it's not a hard rule. Like, I'm willing to short up here if it aligns with everything else, right? So yeah, I guess no, I don't use it. But I do look at it in a sense of like where is it in price, but it's not like a rule to where it's like it has to be. I have to trade longs over the opening print and vice versa. If you haven't already, chat, make sure you subscribe to the channel, as it does help the growth. And I think that it's far-fetched to think that we hit 50K by June 30th, but I do think we can do it. I think if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so if you find value. And if you don't, a like will do. Got it. Thanks, bro. Yeah. But shit, chat. Not much going on in price today. Do you consider this high quality? I don't know. I don't know. $10.30. We're just stuck in this range. But again, to finish off here, I think everyone should follow that goal. The goal of entering June, right? So this week will go by. Let's say we start, or you start next week, right? Next week on the 25th of May, that's a Memorial, so that's a holiday. So Tuesday, the 26th of May, go into the next 20 trading days with the idea that you're only taking trading on 10 of those days, and build a plan around every single morning, whether that day would add up to be a cash day. Or so the goal here would be to accumulate 10 cash days in a single month. And of course there's outlier months, right? But I think this really trains your brain to practice building good habits. And good habits for me is not necessarily trading daily, right? And I think super choppy engineering liquidity probably for NVIDIA earnings. Yeah, for me, the way I trade, I don't really like trading this, given especially, I hope you guys understand why, chat. I walked into the morning with the idea that today was more than likely going to give us a range or a small pullback, which we're kind of getting a range. The reason for that is, if you understand this one concept, it'll change your trading. Weekly, tapped into the fair value gap. Where do we have to go now? Higher. To where, right? We have this bearish gap on the daily after a failure to go lower. In what, chat? In premium, over 50%. Now, taking into consideration how the week has been, taking out lows just to go up and take out these highs, I want to take a pause. I want to take a sit back and look to see what price wants to do now. I took a long into that level, which played, but that was where I had conviction. Going into PM, I genuinely had no conviction other than higher time frame is bullish. But we did achieve a target that I was looking to target essentially. So for now, I went into the session with like, okay, I want to see more. I want to see us take out these lows, take out these highs again. And on NQ, it was take out the premium of the range, which we created divergence with ES here. So yeah, that's how I structure that's how I structure my trading expectations. So we do have a 15 minute gap that we are kind of respecting. So we'll see what happens towards the end of the day. But yeah, as of now, not interested in touching anything. Nvidia does have earnings today, and I believe today Jake will be interviewing Zach at forgot what time. Here in the coming hours. Let me get you guys the exact time. It is at 5 p.m. Eastern. So literally, what time is it right now? Literally, as soon as I hop off. As soon as I hop off here, the next 2 hours. For an hour and a half. Next hour and a half, Jake will be live. So yeah, I'll tune in for that too, and listen to what Zach has to say, because those are good numbers. Good read, top-down analysis, 5 p.m. Yeah, fuck yeah, Methodic. Bro, I know you and me trade very, very similar, which is nice. It's interesting. 5 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern. Jake will be on with Zach, and we'll go from there, chat. Basically it for me here. I hope you guys found value, and if you guys did, make sure to subscribe. I know people watching currently, I know a handful of you guys aren't subscribed. So subscribe, as it helps the channel grow, and we have big goals, man. Big fucking goals, chat. Big fucking goals here for the channel. Thanks, Lomeli. Thank you. Later, Rye Guy. Fuck yeah. Adam, my guy, appreciate you, brother. Later. Yeah, we'll end it here, chat, but stay tuned for Jake going live here in the next hour and a half. Peace. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, but stay tuned for Jake's interview. Watch it live as it is. I think it will be very insightful. So, yeah, that's it for me, chat. See you guys later. About to go shower up, and more than likely, you'll get food. Later.